Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TripleJump podcast. It's a video game podcast. My name is Ben.
My name is Peter.
And my name is Ashton.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
You feeling just so well?
Yeah, feeling good.
Yep.
Good, yeah.
Peter, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling sprightly.
Yeah?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for you.
Glad
Must
to
be
hear it.
nice.
Ashton, you are poorly
I
anyway.
am poorly, yeah.
And yesterday we opened TAT for how many hours?
Well, we started at about 10,
10-ish.
and we finished at about 7.
Yeah.
So
We had a little
About 8
lunch break,
hours.
maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. So that's not a little lunch break. We
Yeah.
had our lunch break.
Yeah, we did. We ate lunch.
So about 8 hours of
Yeah.
opening tap.
Which was incredible.
It was.
Full
Yeah,
video
thank you.
coming soon, but we did subsist on alcohol and
Beef
beef
jerky.
jerky, and chocolate.
Yeah.
Sweets,
I had some
all
cola
day.
ones to begin with, which was a bad move.
It was
Yeah.
an
Start
interesting
with the-
choice. Cola ones, and you had a cocktail with it as well, didn't you, in a can?
like a Malibu.
Yeah. And then at lunchtime you realised, oh no, I'm driving.
Yeah,
I'm
and
going to drive home.
Walked to Tesco through the car park. She was like, "Oh, did you drive in today?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh." I was like, "What?" And I went, "Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I've had 2 Malibus, but fortunately it was an 8-hour session, so
Yeah.
You were
not drinking
fine.
session, 8-hour recording session. So by the time it was drive home time, I was okay."
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it was incredible, as it always is. And we want to thank you sincerely, everybody who sent in TAT. And those of you who are excited for the video, it will be out in a week.
It's next
Yeah, it's not
Sunday.
long.
God, better crack on with the edit then. So yeah, hopefully that'll be with you. Export issues pending, which is
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
where we can edit it, no problem. It takes a while, but then when we go to export it, anyone's
It always
computer
breaks.
that wants to do it just completely gives up.
I don't
Like,
really know
can't do
how
it.
we get it done in the end.
We just retry until it goes through. I
yeah,
think.
2 years in a row.
We
just
had to split it up into. You exported it in like 4 tiny sections
Yeah.
last year, and then smashed them all together, and then exported it in
We had
that
to
way.
export it
worked.
multiple times.
Yeah.
And then the year before, my PC just wouldn't do it. So I had to give you my edit
Yeah.
so to see if your PC would do it, which it did eventually.
Yeah.
It wouldn't do it immediately.
I think last year we did it on the downstairs computer in the end. I
Yeah.
don't think either of our desk ones did it. So
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Let's hope Adobe's up for the challenge. We'll find a way to get it to you either way. Welcome to our video game podcast. Each and every week, we're sponsored by a very real video game adjacent sponsor. It helps us keep the lights on here. And who's got the ad read this week? Ashton, have
I
you got
do.
the ad read?
I have the ad read this week.
Okay.
No, I don't know if you guys have heard about it because it was real low key with the release, like of the trailer. Like it's only got 117 million views on YouTube. So they were obviously like, they had to find a way to get people to know about their new game.
Gangnam
Yeah.
Style is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. No, of course not. It's Grand Theft Auto 6 dummies.
Oh,
So
silly
they were
Billy.
like, how can we get more people to know about our video game? So they've come up with a kind of like a range of things that they can that they've put their brand on. We've got lollipops, ice lollies, those things you give to cats that have yogurt in them.
Yeah.
Other sweets that you suck on.
Right.
And they're calling the campaign GTA Licks.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it was going to be sticks.
No,
actually.
GTA Licks.
GTA
GTA
Licks.
Yeah.
Right.
Just so they can get the younger generation excited, because all the oldies are excited, but they
Yeah,
want
kids hate GTA.
they want the younger ones to get excited. So they've put them on lollipops and stuff.
Right. Kids love
Suckers.
The target audience.
lollies.
Yeah.
And they love, or they don't yet love Grand Theft Auto.
No, but they will.
They will.
Yeah.
I often play Grand Theft Auto online and think, wow, there's
there
a
was more kids
there's a
here.
distinct lack of children
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
lobby right now.
Yeah.
Everyone here is over the age of
So
40.
old.
So
Who
a
are
bunch of
these
kids are going to
losers?
get really excited about this game, and then of course they definitely will not be playing it for the next 10 years or however long it takes
Yeah.
them to turn 18, because everyone is responsible and does not buy
Yeah.
GTA for their
responsible.
child.
under
So
18s.
no way.
they
Yeah.
they'll have it marked on their 10-year calendar
Yeah.
the day they can play GTA 6.
Yeah, and by the time that comes, they turn 18. It'll have been released 6 more times, and it
But
will
7
be,
won't be out.
But 7 won't be out
Will
yet,
not be
so
out.
it's fine. But it's not actually real.
Oh,
what?
So yeah,
But how are they possibly going to get the message out to people?
I don't know.
Not many people have
Only
heard of this game yet.
117 million people watched the trailer in 24 hours. So like, what are they going to really do?
Dunno.
No one wants to play this game.
They're in trouble. Dead
Yeah.
game.
Dead game.
So
Go broke.
without GTA Licks, how can there be GTA 6? Is it also not real?
No, that's real.
That is actually real.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
God, I was worried there for a
I
second.
know.
But no, but lollies aren't real.
Lollies are real too.
Lollies are also
It's just
real.
the combination of the two isn't real.
Well, that seems short-sighted.
I mean,
doesn't
I probably
it?
will end up being lollipops with the logo on it, but they probably won't be official.
I'm just saying.
Was the Lindsay Lohan character holding a lollipop?
She was,
Yeah.
yes. I believe she was. Oh, no, she wasn't. She was on her phone.
A phone.
Oh,
She's taking a selfie. Someone was sucking a lollipop.
Or Vice
though.
City, I think there was
probably
someone on the loading screen with that.
There's
I'm sure
always
there's been a
someone
lolly
with a lolly.
somewhere.
Someone was being arrested,
There was some blonde
maybe,
woman with a lolly, I
and
think,
she's
in GTA
like she had her arm behind her back with the policewoman, and maybe she was sucking a lolly.
Yeah.
There's always someone
There's
sucking
always
a lolly.
someone sucking a
GTA
lolly.
4, I think there's someone sucking a lolly. You got to have it. But unfortunately, no, that's not real, which is devastating news.
Yeah.
But what is real is patreon.com/Team TripleJump. If you go over there and support us, you get access to a whole load of amazing content at the lowest tier, the $5 tier. You get access to episodes of Main Menu, Rules Boss. You get early access to Main Menu and Weirdest Games Ever. And the Christmas episode of Main Menu has just gone out, and it's deeply upsetting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you go over there, patreon.com/Team TripleJump, you can go and watch it.
I've really been enjoying looking at the comments on the Patreon post of people being like, starting watching the video and being like, how could this possibly go wrong? And then updating their comment later on and be like, what have you done?
How is this
How
possible?
have you
It is
done this?
awful.
Yeah, really bad. But thank you to our amazing patrons over there. We appreciate all of you very much. TripleJ.mup is our website. There you can find links to everything we do, our YouTube, our Twitch, our Discord, if you want a cameo from one of us. TripleJumpShop.com, new merch coming soon. Ashton's the only one wearing merch that you can see.
Yep.
Peter and I are wearing festive jumpers. Oh my God, he's getting
I might
undressed.
be wearing
Oh my God.
Wild
a
card
faded wild
entry.
card.
Wildcard entry t-shirt. There it is. And of course, patreon.com/Team TripleJump. A few things out this week. It's a Worst Games Ever week, Peter.
It is. Hey, are you ready for a quantum theory? The
Yes.
quantum break?
Yes.
Well, you can go and enjoy that. It's bad. It's a clone of another game that is better, and you can go and watch us have a bad time playing that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
What's it called? It's quantum.
Quantum theory. It's not
Oh,
quantum.
quantum-
Break. I just
right.
thought
Quantum
I just threw
theory.
that in for fun,
Okay.
just because the word quantum.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Quantum of solace. if you
Yeah.
wanted
Exactly.
to.
Yeah. Quantum physics.
Yeah.
It's all there. All the quantums.
All the quantums.
Nuka-Cola quantum.
Yeah. that's
Would the
right.
plural of
Yeah.
quantum be quanta? I
Quantum
think.
Quantum
Quanti.
Hode.
Quanta.
No, it's queese.
Queese.
What?
What? Oh.
Like geese.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Could we, speaking of geese, could we have the heating on?
You want it back on already?
Yeah,
Feel
I'm
the
freezing.
cold
freezing.
embrace
Just
of
turn it
old
on.
Father
Okay,
Winter.
It's going back on now. Also, on Thursday night / Friday, the first thing Friday morning, we streamed reactions to the Game Awards.
Yeah.
At the time of recording this podcast, it's not happened yet.
No.
However, we're going to record the big discussion where we talk about the winners and the announcements and so on tomorrow morning, that being Friday morning. So the big discussion will talk about the Game Awards in detail.
Sans Peter.
Sans Peter, because
Yeah.
he's not in.
I'm not on
But
Friday.
if you are in the mood to catch our live reactions, they should be on the VODs channel about now. So you can go give them a watch there. Fantastic. Well, it's time to kick things off with the biggest piece of news from the week, assuming that nothing massive came out of the Game Awards that could even touch this.
Well, and if it did, we're doing that as a big discussion
170
later.
million views on
Wow.
YouTube.
170 million planets.
Is it like 90-something million in 24 hours? Or
I had
something
over
crazy?
100 million in
That's
24 hours.
Jesus.
Did they hit 100 in 24 hours?
Yeah.
God.
Wasn't that a record held by what they called the
Mr.
band?
Beast.
Oh,
Beast.
they beat Mr. Beast, but there was what's the K-pop band people go crazy for?
Blackpink?
No,
No.
like the one,
The boy one.
the boy one.
Oh,
Like the K-pop band.
the one that
BTS.
sounds like
BTS.
something like yeah, BTS.
That was it. Yeah, behind the
Behind the
scenes.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. I think they held like a big record that I don't know. I don't know if they got it, but it's anyway. It's crazy.
That's the thing. When they talk about like YouTube records, they often say like non-music because usually like music videos and stuff
Yeah.
get hundreds of millions of views very quickly. But yeah. So it's question one. It's from Hannah O'Neill who says, "Hi BAP. With GTA 6 looking as good as it is, do you think that more developers will try to stick to a realistic release date if it's next year rather than pushing forward in 2025 when GTA 6 is released and inevitably overtakes the world again? On another note, it says this could be a sales could this be a sales boost for the Xbox Series S, as it could encourage gamers to upgrade if they haven't yet? Love you, Hannah? Question mark. It
Love you,
says.
Hannah?
Love you, Hannah?
Thank you, man.
I really love this narrative that like no other games are going to be released in 2025 because they're too scared of GTA 6. Like, that is hilarious.
I've seen a lot of developers
Imagine-
on Twitter saying, so we can just take the year off.
Imagine if they were like, we're not going to release our game in 2025. You only get
no point.
GTA 6.
I don't know why.
That's
because
so funny.
I mean, also, I know that's not real, but I mean, just generally, like this idea of like we must avoid, you know, it's a bad year to release a game. Like,
Just don't release it on the same day.
yeah, just give it a bit of breathing space. But like, some people will just play GTA all year because that's just what they do. But a
depends when it
lot of
comes out.
gamers will, well, that too. If it comes out later, then you know, get stuff out early 2025. But you know, even if it came out in spring, a lot of gamers are going to be playing other things too. So don't worry your pretty little heads.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
hyped.
I posted a slightly, it wasn't quite grumpy tweet, but I did delete it.
Were you grumpy on social media?
Yeah, the day after the trailer. Well, the day that the
It was
trailer
supposed
dropped.
to come out.
Right.
Well, just after it had come out.
Right.
And I stand by it. I only deleted it because I thought I am sort of pissing in people's cereal here. But like I'll tell you now what I said. I'm really glad that the actual hype and build up for the trailer has broken now. Like the trailer is out because I found it a little bit cringe, like how excited people were getting for like. I think like the splash screen that went out, like with the release date of the trailer on it, and then all the people who were doing those like imitation ones, and people were like in the lobby. There were like tens of thousands of people in the live stream, like a day before it went out. I just kind of thought. It is just the trailer though. Like, you know, I get that I understand this. It almost certainly is going to be the biggest game of 2025 or 26, depending on if it gets delayed, and probably one of the biggest games of the decade. No denying that. I know that it's a huge deal, but I was just finding it a little bit
Embarrassing.
a little bit cringy. I just thought like, you know, people are getting very overexcited, but then people can get excited about what they want,
So
which
what
is
was
why I
your tweet?
backtracked. It was just that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was just, I'm
People
really
who
It was
glad.
like, you
GTA
flipping
6
losers
are
need to calm
clowns.
down.
It was that, but like
Cringe.
summarize. It was basically, I know that this is going to be one of the biggest games of the decade, but I'm really glad the trailer is out now because I was finding the hype a bit much or something like that. And then I put another tweet underneath it saying like, obviously people, you enjoy what you want, get excited for what you want.
But it's no Beyond Good and
Everyone
Evil
tells their own
3.
proclivities.
Well, that, exactly. No, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's apples and oranges, but I'd like to think that, like, you know, people kind of have their own lanes, have their own little communities. But it was just everywhere I looked, and it wasn't just that it was everywhere I looked. It was like what people were doing and how excited they were getting. It was like, whoa, please. You know?
I felt a bit like that when there was outlets being like, the trailer is over 90 seconds
yeah, that
long.
kind of thing. That's what I'm
I was
talking
like,
about.
what?
Reporting
Who
on
cares?
every single aspect.
Yeah.
It's just because it's such a. I mean, I
It's an easy way
completely
to get
appreciate
clicks.
your point, but it's like I understand why they do it, and I'm sure you do.
I do,
too.
yeah,
Like, it's
which is
just
why I
it's
sort of
just
took it
so unbelievably huge. Like it dwarfs every other series.
It's its own
in
thing.
existence.
Yeah.
Like it's the great unifier.
Literally in a league of its own, I think.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Like there's no game that's even comes close to it. So every single and it's not done. Because we're not getting it
no.
for 2 years, and we're going to get
Yeah.
these little drip-fed things for the next 2 years. They're going to be reporting on every crumb.
I know that that's not
Yeah.
done, but I just mean, particularly like the days leading up to it, just people, I could just feel people going, like the atmosphere was humid with people getting so excited for it. And I was like, it is just a trailer. Like,
just a trailer.
And then I love a trailer. I love for trailers of things that I, you know, really, really care about, franchises and stuff. I love going into all the breakdowns and stuff. You know, I totally get all of that, but I don't know. It was just, it's the scale of it, you know, like it's that everyone was doing that all over the internet, not just the fandom of that game.
I think that's a bit like when there's a game that has a lot of hype or like it goes down really well, I always get a bit like, okay, we can calm down a bit now. Like when Elden Ring came out, everyone was losing their goddamn minds. I was like,
It's
guys,
the kind of thing you have to mute on Twitter,
chill
isn't
out.
it? If you're
Yeah.
not, if you're not in
like
there.
I'm excited about it as you are, but like just take a chill pill,
Yeah.
gang. Like, it's not that deep. We don't have to be tweeting about it every 5 minutes. We get it. You're excited.
But we do. It's Elden Ring.
We do. It's Elden Ring.
It's Elden Ring.
It's Elden
We've all got our own things where we do that, but I think it was the fact that there were so many, like hundreds of millions of people probably all in that, all doing that at the same time. I could just feel it all around me.
I always wonder if there's something wrong with me that I never get that excited about anything. Like, I'm excited about games, but I'm never that excited. And I'm
Horizon?
like, yeah, but I'm not like
Yeah.
piss my pants excited.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I sort of agree.
I'm excited, but I'm not going to tweet about it all, like, constantly for 2 days straight.
And get excited about knowing how many seconds long the
yeah,
trailer
exactly.
is.
I'd be like, cool, the trailer's over a minute long.
I think for me, this is just part of a larger point about how exhausting social media is. Because
Yeah.
You're probably
I
right.
can't maintain that level of energy for any reason, particularly on social media. So much so that when I see people tweeting constantly, I'm like, this has to be just manufactured.
Yeah.
You can't truly feel this way because it's psychotic. No one person can be this excited or this
About
enthusiastic.
anything.
What you are doing is you are trying to generate the figures and the views and the numbers, and I appreciate that. That's how the social media game is played.
Yeah.
But I have no time for it. It's so exhausting.
Can I piss
So there's
in
my
you-
rumbly grumbly bit.
Yeah, well,
but
can I piss in everyone's cornflakes a little bit more?
Yeah.
Whoa, you're gonna yuck some yum.
Yeah, I am. I watched the trailer and I was like, cool, but I don't really feel like we learned that much. And
Yeah.
also, I thought that the graphics looked like Dead Island 2.
Really?
Yeah, like it gave me big Dead Island 2 vibes.
Could that
whereas-
just be the color palette?
It's probably the color palette, and it did it did have that weird kind of like overlaid grainy, not
Yeah,
grainy, but
it
like
did, yeah.
color vibe. And there was one shot where they were like walking down the beach, and I was like, this is just makes me think of Dead Island 2. Like, it's really giving Dead Island 2. So I couldn't quite understand why everyone was like, oh my god, it looks amazing.
I'm sort of half with you. I also agree that I don't think it told us any more than what I would have expected from it.
Yeah.
GTA, I think it's actually quite hard to do a trailer for GTA because everyone knows it's just going to be about crimes and cars.
Yeah.
And every GTA trailer for the past however many years has just been basically the same trailer with just different graphics in a sense.
Apart from GTA 4, where it was just the city.
True,
Yeah.
true, yeah.
That's the only one that told us nothing.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh my god,
But you
it
can
looks
only
amazing.
like GTA is very much a game about actually getting hands-on, controller in hand, and playing it. Some games are more that than others. Some games are far more you're there for the characters and the story. Like something like, bad example to bring up, given our history with the audience, but The Last of Us.
Right.
You bring up you have a Last of Us 2 trailer and. You're there for the characters as much as the gameplay in a game like that or something like that. And you can, show characters and show little bit like nuggets of story and people can get excited about that specifically. But with a GTA game, it's still like until you're sitting down and you're driving around that city, it's quite hard to convey that. I guess it's a bit like VR. It's quite hard to convey a VR game
But you
in a
often
trailer.
get like a more of a glimpse at like the in-game like engine and how it's going to play, and a little bit more of like the graphics with a VR game, because they have to show you that because everything's done from your perspective. But yeah, I mean, we know what to expect. It's going to be the same as all the other GTA games. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm going to be 100% honest. I was a bit I was expecting a bit more. But like I say, it's a teaser trailer, kind of, and we're not going to see the game for at least year and a bit, so I'm sure we'll get to see a lot more.
I'm far more looking forward to the Welcome to Vice City, the city that never sleeps.
In Grand Theft Auto 6, you can, and then
you can do everything.
But I mean, I don't even know if they needed to put a trailer up. They could have been like, the game's coming 2025, and
people
everyone would
love
have
the
still
trailer.
bought it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they definitely would.
I'm
excited for it.
I'm excited for
I
it.
was, I wasn't blown away by that trailer, but I find myself less enthused about
Just generally.
about things now than I certainly used to be. But I didn't think it looked bad by any stretch.
No.
I thought there was some really impressive stuff on show, assuming that is representative of the gameplay. The crowd density was seriously impressive on the beach. I liked the flipping bloody there's no good way to say it. The booty physics on the twerking were kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like in terms of animating a human body like that. That
Right.
was very impressive. And also the hair physics as well.
Yeah, I've seen some
like lots of
slow-mo of
hair
the hair.
flicks and stuff that would not have been possible before. When there was a brief bit where they were holding up a convenience store and like the door was opened. I've seen a freeze frame of that, and it's like got so many different stickers on it that you can read individually. The shelves look really densely packed. Ultimately, as you guys say, it's a crime sandbox and it's going to do crime sandbox stuff. But what they can do to make it look even better is improve what the people look like and how they're animated.
Yeah.
And just make the world more alive. Like we were talking about last week, like make these shops feel like real shops.
Yeah.
They've got all these individual bottles on the shelves and so on. Like it's attention to detail, I suppose, as much as anything else is what Red Dead 2 was praised for.
Yeah.
And just in this brief glimpse of the game, it seems like that's going to carry through here as well.
Yeah.
We do know a few things about the game now from the trailer. Interestingly, no mention of PC.
Yeah.
And no mention of last gen either. In fact, we know there's going to be no last gen version. So no PS4, no Xbox One. But it will be coming to PS5 and Xbox Series. How it will run on Series S will be interesting. It's a good point made by Hannah. Will it encourage people to buy a Series S as the cheapest way in? Probably. But they'll get it working on the Series S, but how well will it work?
I did see a
Yes.
tweet that said, a lot of people are disappointed that this isn't coming to previous gen, but it is. It's coming to Series S.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Poor Series S owners.
I
Me.
know.
That's me. I'm the Series S owner.
Yeah.
We know that I've got some, basically this is just sort of we'll have it in the link dump, just various things that we can note now. So it's TBC 2025, which is, are we going to get it in 2025?
2026.
Yeah, realistically, is it coming in 2025?
I'd like to think that they've like nailed it down.
Yeah, they probably have, because they've had that long to
get it ready.
it's just been
there was no immediate pressure for them to announce it now.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly,
If
that's
they
what-
haven't, if
yeah.
they weren't on a point where the game was on its way to being where they wanted it to be, I don't think they would have shown anything, because they had no reason to.
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
like they showed it at an event. Like
Was Red Dead 2 like that? Didn't have any delays, I don't think, that I,
don't
remember. So
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
no.
These notes come from Games Radar, by the way. During the official trailer, we were introduced to the protagonists of GTA 6 with a focus on the first GTA 6 female lead, Lucia, I think. While there's still much we're yet to learn about her as a character, the trailer gives us some hints with her wearing prison clothing, which tells us she's clearly had some trouble with the law. Not only that, but Lucia is shown on multiple occasions with an unnamed male character who looks set to play a main role in the next entry. While he's been unofficially referred to as both Jason and James in the past, we've not had confirmation on his name. The pair appear to share a bond, a kind of Bonnie and Clyde-like relationship, and speak of trust as they get stuck into some crime together. What do you make of this then? The reaction was reliably disappointing
My favourite
to a
tweet.
female lead.
My favorite tweet was female protagonist, what or L? And I was like, women, what or L? Like, come on now.
Well, I saw this morning someone, there's that brief shot of someone, I think they're at like a festival and they're like covered in mud, and the girls, and she's like walking along, she sees the camera and she turns and goes,
Yeah.
at the camera. Someone took that little gif of her and said, she should have been the protagonist in the game, not what's she called, Lucia.
Lucia,
Yeah. Basically saying white woman, not
Hispanic woman.
Hispanic woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the comments were like, oh yeah, I forgot how like just openly racist Twitter was.
Yeah, it's just people just telling on themselves. Aren't
It's
they,
not
really?
surprising.
No,
but-
it's not. It's like it was so predictable.
Yeah.
It was so obvious.
Yeah,
But I
Yeah.
like it. I think it's cool. I don't know if she'll be the only protagonist or we'll get to play as the man as well.
I assume we'll be able to swap mission to
Probably.
mission.
Well,
right?
they had said before that there was rumors or something that we'd get to play as both of them. So I see no reason why we wouldn't. But I mean, maybe it would be more interesting if it's just a one character, because that's what people really liked about Vice City and San Andreas, that you followed one character. And
I think I prefer that, to be honest.
I
yeah.
do think that aside from like GTA 5 was nice to be able to go and experience these three different characters, but you didn't particularly like at least one of them. So I was always a bit apprehensive about playing him. So I guess it would be nice to just play as her. And I hope that they do, just to really, really piss him off.
I've always preferred playing as a single character in games. I didn't,
Yeah.
if Spider-Man, all the Spider-Man games had only ever been about either Peter or Miles, I'd have been happier or as happy. Same with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which was a game I liked, but like I didn't like switching. I think I just like to focus all my attention on one person, especially if it's an RPG and you're upgrading people and like spending points on both. I'd rather just worry about one set of trees and skills. And
also, narratively, from the trailer, it feels like they would not really be apart that much, so it doesn't feel like it would make that much sense to have them as separate characters. My theory is that she gets out of prison, she goes back to this man, and they start like doing crimes together, and then he either gets killed by someone or he double crosses her, and then she goes on like a revenge mission. Almost.
Yeah, that's what GTA 3 was about. You got double crossed in a heist at the start.
Could be a bit like there could be a section that basically is beat for beat like that bit from The Last of Us Part 1, where Joel and Ellie get separated and you play as both independently, and then one of them is just like, well, I'm going to murder everyone in an effort to save my bow now.
Yeah.
I saw another theory this morning on Twitter where some people are saying, oh, maybe the clips in the trailer are actually in reverse order. And it starts with them, you know, like in bed talking about trust and like driving around, and then they do the shop heist, and then it goes to her in her jumpsuit. She's in jail in like a separate women's prison, and that's how they get split up. Or maybe he even double crosses her during the robbery.
Rockstar revealed we'll be heading to the state of Leonida, we don't know yet, which is home to the neon-soaked streets of Vice City and beyond. It's set to be the biggest, most immersive evolution of Grand Theft Auto yet. Vice City appears to be part of a bigger map that will form GTA 6. There's now speculation that GTA 6 will push further south towards the Everglades, a wetland, and the Florida Keys, a string of tropical islands. Now, the Gator Keys were referenced in the original GTA Vice City as part of a radio broadcast, but the location was never shown in-game. If the screenshots suggest what we think they are, expect the GTA 6 map to contain a mixture of environment types. Someone posted in our group chat at work about how people had taken the leaked coordinates to sort of build a map, and then it was compared to what a similar thing had been done for GTA 5 and how eerily close that ended up being to the final map. And if true, this map is massive. And Vice City is just like a big portion of it, but it's far from most of it.
Yeah. All the kind of Florida inspiration looks cool. I love how they've taken all those viral clips and like recreated them.
I've got a list of them here.
Yeah.
Lady with the 2 hammers. Guy fishing a crocodile out of his pool. A woman twerking on top of a speeding car. Guy running naked through a petrol station. Guy watering his garden naked. Florida Joker. Dirt bike people, and alligator in a Walmart. All of which, there are lots of side-by-side comparisons, aren't there, of the real viral clips. You know, it's such a rich vein for them to tap into in terms of parody and satire, where we're worried about, you know, punching down and stuff, but there is such the
concept of a Florida man is...
Yeah, in the ticker tape at the bottom of the thing, it was referred to as a Leonida man. So they're going to do that. They're going to lean into that, and that has the weird characters you could meet based on that inspiration is like it's tantalizing. And you know, we're worried about punching down, but if they're pulling on real life inspiration for genuinely weird people from Florida, then that'll be great. There's going to be some really funny stuff
also
there.
I don't know if you can punch down on a concept, because the Florida man is a concept. I know that we've got evidence of it, but it's like it's a concept of people from Florida are mental,
the Florida men,
and like they do weird things, and that's more of like a concept. So I don't know if you can, because that's not going for one specific person or like group of people. That's an idea of a Florida man, you know, and who are mental.
So do we think, we kind of covered, we've talked about this, about the year. Do we think that other games should be avoiding 2025? Do you think it might encourage people who do have a slate for 24 to make sure they get it done?
I think as soon as we get a confirmed release date, anybody who's aiming for that should move out.
We'll see some stuff shift around. A lot like what happened with Spider-Man, with Alan Wake and stuff kind of like migrating out of the month. I think it's just good business practice.
Rockstar could really troll everyone, couldn't they? They could say like, "Oh, we're coming out in like summer 25," and all the other summer 25 people will move away, and then Rockstar go, "Actually, we think maybe spring 25, and then
maybe spring."
Keep moving away.
The release date is is nebulous, and we will see when it actually ends up being. I'm not convinced it will land in 2025 at all.
You think?
But until they confirm an actual release date, I think everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. But anyone who's aiming for 2025 should be on guard.
I think if it's at the moment, if it's planned to be the first maybe 1 or 2 quarters of 2025, there's still a chance it will be in that year. But if they've always been thinking maybe like winter 25,
Holiday,
then I think there's a good chance it could be 26.
Yeah. Well, the excruciating countdown to GTA 6 now officially begins, and we will be covering, much like every other person on the internet, every single tiny little bit of drip-fed information until you're sick of hearing about it, because this will be the biggest game of the year, probably of the decade. It will sell tens and tens of millions of copies, and it's going to overtake everyone's lives and the entire conversation around video games for a good while to come.
Yes, it will. Isn't that exciting?
It's so exciting, Ashton.
Until that comes out, I thought we could talk about what's out at the moment, and specifically what we've been enjoying in a segment that I think we should call What We Playin.
Okay. It's What We Playing time. Time to talk about the games, what we have been playing. Peter Austin, what have you been playing?
I've, I think, come to an end of my brief spike in activity on my PS2 that I got all hooked up to the TV. I've finished the story mode on Soul Calibur 2. Kind of annoying to do that because I originally played that. I played an Xbox copy on a 360, I think. And the loading times on that were very, very short, if sort of existent at all, because it's only a fighting game. And back then, even though we're talking old hardware, fairly simple game to load up. PS2, there is just a little bit of loading time on each fight. Only 3 or 4 seconds. But if you lose a fight in the story mode, you get sent back to the map on the overworld, and then you have to go back into the fight and go and then sit through a loading screen. And some of them get really hard towards the end, and you're having to do it 10, 15 attempts. And on each one, you have to just sit and look at the 2 people face each other and wait 3, 4, 5 seconds. Okay, we're in. And then you lose, and then you have to go back out and do it again. So I was getting a little bit pissed off towards the end. But that's fine. I've carried on playing Battlefront 2 story mode, really enjoying that. It's completely non-canon now. Everything that they say is that doesn't make sense in the story that we know now, but I've enjoyed it a lot. And I've also played a bit more Star Wars, played some Lego Star Wars.
Oh.
Because
which one?
The complete trilogy or complete saga, whatever it's called, but
most
not
recent.
the Skywalker. No.
Oh.
So me and Ashton both played that.
Yeah,
and
we didn't like it that much.
You played most of it, didn't you?
We
Pretty
played
much.
all the story missions.
Yeah. Did you actually
I think...
platinum it? Or
No.
No.
Which one are we talking about now?
The Skywalker saga.
The most recent one.
Recent one.
Yeah, I remember you two.
We
played a lot of it.
Thought it was a bit rubbish.
And I was a bit they've just tried to do too much here, and they could have made a really simple thing like the older ones. Yeah. So at the time when we were both playing that, I was thinking, I'm really looking forward to just going and playing the old one again at some point. And then it's been months since then, but I had a copy of it, and I was like, oh, now's my chance. And I've really enjoyed it.
They're so good.
Just simple Lego fun. You can drop in and drop out. Amy played very briefly with me as well, which we don't tend to play games together at all, so that was nice. And I've done most of that as well. And I get you get a little rush every time you unlock a new character. Once you've unlocked about 50 of them, it's just Civilian Man 3 you unlock. He is now playable, but that's
Soldier.
Exactly.
Cool. Thanks.
But I'm a bit PS2'd out, I think, at this point. So I've had a good time, but I think I need to start playing some more current stuff again. But that's what I've been playing. Little hashtag throwback Thursday and the other days of the week. All of them. 7 days.
Fantastic.
I'm not very well. Don't know if you can tell from the coughing. Though you've been enjoying that, audio listeners. I am sick, and I couldn't come into work on Tuesday because I was very unwell. And so all I wanted to do, when you're unwell and all you want to do is just switch your brain off, but you don't want to just stare at the ceiling. Or I watched a lot of trash TV this week, and I was like, I cannot watch anymore. Well, I can, but I want to be doing something else while I'm doing it. So I borrowed my boyfriend's Steam Deck, and I put on the cheesiest, crappiest rom-coms I could find. I've been playing House Flipper because all I have to do is just turn my brain off, knock some walls down, paint some walls, install some sinks, and I'm like, this is nice. This is good. And I played some Disney Dreamlight Valley, which has finally like come out of early access this week. So on the 5th, it came out of early access, like the finished game. And they released their first DLC for £30. So I will not be buying it.
Wasn't it originally meant to be coming out of early access as free to play?
Yeah, so the game was going to come out as free to play, and then the other month they were like, good news, we're coming out of early access, and the game costs 40 quid.
And then they immediately charged
And then they immediately said, if you want the Platinum Edition, which comes with the 2 DLCs that they've currently got announced, that was 70 quid. And if you wanted just the one DLC, that's an extra $29.99.
That's horrific. What's in the DLC? How big is it?
I think it's new characters, and I think potentially some new lands to go to, but I don't think it's going to add that much more.
For a price
content.
like that, it should be, I mean, if you're going on what the cost of the base game is, it should be nearly as much as the base game in terms of content.
So, yeah, you'd think.
Well, that's great.
Because also, I think there was a thing about it, and I don't quote me on this because I wasn't sure, it was very confusing. But if you'd paid for early access, like if you'd bought it on Switch or something, I think you either had to pay the difference or you might have even had to buy it again. I'm not sure, but it was a whole thing. Anyway,
do you think they originally planned to have it a lot more of a cheaper experience, and then during the early access they've realized people really like this, we could charge more money?
The thing is, it's a live service game in many ways, in the sense it's got its own in-game currency, multiple, and they're making money from people buying this currency, and people were buying the game, and I think if they'd have just put the DLC as paid, they still would have made a lot of money, and people were very upset with them for making this game that they kept saying was going to be free to play, no longer free to play. But I have it on Xbox Game Pass, so I was really worried they were going to take it off that, and then I would have had to start again, but they haven't, which is good. But I've been playing that this week. They've introduced Jack Skellington. And yeah, I was playing it on the day the update happened, and I installed the update, and then my character, Tony Baboni, who I play as, something went very wrong with him. Like, he started, I've got a picture of it because he was cracking me up. He started floating around, like A-posing, and this is what happened to his face.
Oh my God, he turned into Billy Ray Walrus.
Yeah, look.
Oh no.
Like, his eyes just got huge.
Like an animal.
Yeah, and his mouth went all weird. I'll put a picture up on Twitter because I thought it was so funny. Look at him.
God.
Look at him. Something's so wrong.
He's wearing his Christmas jumper,
He's
though.
got his
That's
Christmas
lovely.
jumper.
That's the real nightmare before Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, they finally... So I don't know if they're going to add any more characters to it now, or if Jack Skellington is the last character that you'll get for free, or if like they'll do another game. They're always doing like seasons and stuff, but I'm not sure if they'll add any more free to play characters. I think, well, not even free to play, you still got to buy it, but because the new DLCs added like Rapunzel and Gaston and some other characters, I think. But yeah, it's all a bit weird. But anyway, I'm playing that this week. I haven't played it in ages. So there's a bunch of characters I'm still trying to like level up to 10 friendship, which I've been doing. And then the last thing I played this week was Teardown on PlayStation Plus. I don't know if you remember it. We saw it at some of the game conferences. It's basically the like voxel game where you kind of like the environment's destructive and you can like drive cars into it. And
I think I do remember that.
Vaguely?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was playing, and I thought it was just going to be a matter of like, here's our house or our building, tear it down, like get rid of it. But that's not what it is. It's like a series of missions, and like, yeah, where you're going to, so far I've been to 5 environments. I think there probably is more. And then you keep kind of having to go back to do the missions, but they gradually get harder and harder. So it's like, oh, I want you to go in and steal this guy's cars, or like, and put them in the back of your lorry, but they're attached to an alarm system. So rather than it being a matter of like, find a way to disable the alarm system, it's, you just have to get the car, like, as soon as the alarm starts going off, you have to do everything. You've got like a minute to finish everything and leave, which is kind of annoying because it means that it's not a matter of like tactic. It's a matter of just like doing it as quickly as possible with some things. And I was enjoying it for a bit, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a kind of a reverse house flipper in the sense of like, here's an environment that's very fun to destroy. Please destroy it. But no, that wasn't what it is. It still was fun, but it just wasn't as good as
what
I
you were
wanted.
expecting.
Yeah. So that's what I played this week.
Nice. I hopped back into Diablo 4 very briefly, played a couple of hours of that just because I was looking for a mindless thing to play for a little bit. I didn't start a new character. I just jumped into some optional dungeons that I hadn't done and just absolutely mashed my way through them because my character is so over-leveled at this point. No real meaningful progress made there or intention to play it for very long. It's just like, oh, let's play some Diablo. The main thing that I played, though, particularly over the weekend just gone, well, firstly, I'd like to make an apology to remote play, which I now understand and appreciate fully on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've been a detractor of remote play for a long time. And while I still would never have the need for a PlayStation Portal or even one of those backbone things, what you slide your phone in.
Yeah.
I made great use of it this weekend just gone, and it helped make a otherwise very boring weekend far more interesting.
Did you use your phone?
No.
Oh.
I used my tablet.
Oh.
So I paired my tablet to my PlayStation 5, which I left in rest mode at home. And then I took my tablet with me and a DualSense, which you're able to connect via Bluetooth to your device. And then I started playing through Persona 4 Golden, the re-release that we got at the beginning of this year, because I've been meaning to get around to it for ages, and like I wanted a game where, again, like I didn't really have to apply a great deal of thought, like I'm following a guide through and stuff. And so and also I didn't realize that you could now do this on iPads, that you could like snap two apps at the same time. You could have two open and like change how much real estate on the screen is taken up. So I had Persona 4 Golden
I've
on.
been able to do that for ages.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, I used to do it all the time when I was a uni.
I've never needed to do it really before,
Yeah.
until now. So I had the guide snapped to one side and the game snapped to the other side. And over the internet, I was able to play Persona 4 Golden from my house that was operating at my house. And I was very impressed by that. And I kept saying, wow, look how amazing this is. And everyone was like, that's
Did it work
cool,
well?
that's
Did
great.
it?
For the most, honestly, I wouldn't play a game like Spider-Man that would require like quick reactions and stuff. It was stable enough. I know it's largely down to your network. My PS5 is Etherneted in, and obviously no one else was using the network at home, so that was fine. And it may just be that the Wi-Fi I was on wasn't the most stable, or I was far away from the router. But for the most part, it was fine. I only got disconnected like once, and sometimes like the graphical quality would drop, or the stream quality would drop, whatever you want to call it, and it would go a bit pixelated and stuff. But otherwise, I was able to play absolutely fine. And I think for this specific use case, it's absolutely ideal. And if I'm still playing it over Christmas when I go down to see family, I might do exactly the same thing rather than lugging my console down, which is usually what I do. So we can play party games and stuff. Now I'll just be selfish and I'll sit in the corner with my DualSense and my iPad and play Persona 4 Golden.
See, I was considering like giving it a go over Christmas on my phone, but I'm just worried that like, I mean, it's not a bad size screen, but I would just worry that like I wouldn't get a decent enough experience out of like my.
Yeah.
But
Depends
then
what you're playing, I guess.
I watched my boyfriend play like all kinds of things on his phone when he was using it to like emulate stuff, and I was like, "What if he can do it? So can I." So I just need to find like a good game to attempt it when I'm down for Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know what like is coming out or what I'm going to play that would work on my phone.
Find something in your
but-
backlog or something.
Yeah.
Something you like the look of.
Yeah.
What you'll want to do, though, which was luckily not a mistake that I made, but that I could have really easily made, is that you'll want to try and do remote play from your house first.
Yeah.
Obviously, your PlayStation needs to be in rest mode, and you need to be able to turn it on from rest mode. That's like a setting you need to do. Because what I did when I came back was I'm going to play some Persona 4 in bed on my iPad because I want to lie in bed and play it, and I can't. My PlayStation's downstairs, so I just like turned on the PS5 downstairs because it was fully switched off, and then went upstairs. And it turns out that if it's at that login screen, your remote play just will not connect to it because it's like there's another controller that's trying to use it right now. Even if there's no controller trying to use it, it doesn't like it. So it has to, in my experience, it had to be in rest mode for me to use it. But it worked great, and I was really happy, and I'm enjoying playing Persona 4 Golden again.
Sorry, follow-up question.
Yes.
Did you use a PlayStation 5 controller?
Yes, I did.
And it can connect to your iPad?
Very easily. You hold the PlayStation button and the share button for like a couple of seconds, and then the LED round the touchpad starts blinking, and it appears as a Bluetooth device.
Do you know what I was annoyed about PlayStation this week?
What's that?
That you can't connect Bluetooth headphones to your PlayStation 5.
Can you not?
No, it has to be their branded
Oh, yeah.
ones.
No, that's
if you want to
true,
use
yeah.
headphones, you have to plug them into the controller, and it really winds me up.
They did another bad thing this week as well. While we're dunking on
Yeah, they
PlayStation.
did.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my PlayStation
I thought you were
jumper.
PlayStation ponies.
Probably did we have a
Guess
question
what?
about this?
No.
About digital content
Yeah.
rights.
No.
This is not game related, but it is PlayStation related. People that had bought video content that PlayStation used to offer were told that their licenses were being revoked, and you would no longer have access to any of your digital content that you bought.
This is why I've never ever bought a digital film or TV series.
Yeah, it's all in the license agreement. You might think you own it, but they can take it away at any time. Now, they may have difficulty in Europe, and they may end up getting sued if stuff like this happens, and they may end up getting sued because of this, but they probably wouldn't have done it if they didn't think that they could get away with it. This is the fun
not a
future
sneaky
of
clause
digital content. So
Yeah.
just, be aware, everybody. But anyway, remote play, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Cool.
It works, and it's much better than it was when I first tried it, when it first started, and I was like, this is rubbish, and then didn't touch it for several years. So
Yeah.
good stuff.
Well, I have a question. Comes from Retro Robin. It's not just a question from me this time. Hi, Bap. My question is around a recent rumor that patents are pointing towards a potential Switch Mini/Pocket. I know we should take rumors with a big grain of salt, but I wonder your thoughts on this being part of a push for Nintendo to 1. Sell more Switches, and 2. Get more people into the Nintendo ecosystem. For example, if they announce a Switch 2 next year alongside a Pocket Switch 1 at the right price point, would this be a good move? I'm thinking of something similar to the original PS2 launch with the PS1 to help carry legacy sales at the cheaper access point. All the best, Robin.
All the
Thanks,
best, Robin.
Oh, that's Robin.
Now, I read this article, right, and I think that the writer of the article was as pessimistic as we are, in the sense of being like, now people like this, they like to sensationalize a bit
yeah.
so that they get clicks.
It's a bit bollocks.
Like the
They
fact
seem a
that
bit
this,
overexcited.
yeah,
about
this
how
guy was like,
optimistic.
it's going to be released on February 24th, 2024.
Here are the
and it's
patents
going
to
to cost
prove it.
£126. Like,
I
how do you
couldn't
know that,
find
idiot?
a single reputable source, single reputable outlet, on the internet that reported this. The one that we were linked to by Robin was a website called notebookcheck.net.
Yeah.
Well, and nothing against the good folks at notebookcheck.net, but I did a little Google sleuthing, and I couldn't, and no one else is touching this
No.
story.
Even
But
the
it's
patents aren't, I don't think they're in and of themselves like convincing of it being a mini.
Should
I
tell
see
you
the
what they are?
argument of how it could be for a
Yeah,
mini.
tell us.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell us about
So
it.
this is from, what was that website called?
Notebookcheck.net.
Notebookcheck.com. So
Net.
the
Not
leaker is Nash Weedle, apparently been providing mounting evidence for a Nintendo Switch Mini or Nintendo Switch Pocket gaming device. The source is insistent that the amount of patents that have been discovered that could pertain to a miniature variant of the Nintendo Switch or Switch 2 are almost enough to practically assert the existence of a Switch Mini/Switch Pocket development. However, it's worth remembering that leakers who are based on X, formerly Twitter, often have to resort to sensationalism and hyperbole to attract followers, so a pinch of salt is definitely required in this instance. The information found in the patent has led to the presumption that the Nintendo Switch Mini, Switch Pocket, or Switch Micro handheld consoles in the works. One focuses on button redistribution, with the home button and capture button being moved to the bottom of the device. Another patent goes further, with the button movement placing the L, ZL, R, and ZR button in a line. Apparently, doing either of those things would produce a more compact Switch console. So it's basically just button moving.
It could produce a more compact Switch console, but also maybe just for the Switch 2, they're choosing to do that.
Yeah.
Like, not even for more compact reasons. They just want to align the back buttons and move the share button down, or whatever it is, the home button down.
I agree. I believe that the patents are real.
Yeah.
I don't believe that a smaller Switch is coming.
Mm.
I don't think this this provides any evidence of any kind of smaller Switch.
Yeah.
There's already how
The
can you get
Switch
smaller
Lite.
than the Switch Lite?
Yeah.
For a start, I think it's a good idea. As Robin points out, I think it's a good idea to have some sort of like legacy SKU come out when the new one comes out to keep that console alive. But why wouldn't you just reprice or remarket or release a new variant of the OLED, the original, or the Lite? Why would you come out with a brand new model? And if you're also, is it going to be, if it's smaller, how's it going to be able to run Switch
That's
games
what
that
I was gonna
already
say.
the Switch already struggles to run, and also have it be cheaper than the existing model?
Yeah.
The stuff that's going to need to go into it to make sure it's smaller and runs those games well is going to make it more expensive.
If
than
the
what's already
screen's smaller, you won't be able to see how badly it runs Batman Arkham Knight.
there. That's very true. You
That's
can
true,
squint
yeah.
at it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if hypothetically if they brought out a smaller console, it would probably manage with a lot of Nintendo's first party stuff. But all of those like third party, like more recent additions to the Switch library that are kind of infamously either not running well or have been massively downgraded in order to run well. How would an even smaller Switch cope with that? I don't know.
I think that it would be interesting to see a smaller console from the Switch in terms of like a bit of a blast from the past, like Game Boy type situation. Obviously, we're not that small, but there's a lot of Retroid is one of the brands, but there's a lot of retro style consoles that are essentially emulators built into little devices that work really well and run a lot of like games, and the screens are decent enough size, but they're small enough to put in your pocket and carry around with you. If you're a man, if you're a woman, I'm sorry, they're not going to fit in your pocket.
Yeah,
No
if you might
pockets.
not even have pockets. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. The pockets in my trousers right now are on the belt. That makes
on
sense.
the belt.
Yeah,
What?
make that make sense.
Do you have like little pouches like Batman?
There's a pouch here, there.
Little utility belt.
There is.
It's weird.
That's very strange.
Yeah. Anyway, less about women's pockets and more
Holy
about video
switch,
games.
Batman.
I think we do need to talk more about women's pockets,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, we do. But anyway, there's so many little devices, and I think if they were gonna produce a device that would run some of their games, like I'm not saying they have to do this, but if it was like this device is for the Mario games we've released, and it only runs the Mario games,
Like a Game & Watch.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
just turn back time 50
exactly.
years.
But I'm just saying, like, they have a lot of first party games that they could probably, maybe not Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, but they could probably make run on a smaller device with certain technology. However, will they do that? I don't think they will. But if they did, I think people would like it, and I think it would go down well. If they were leaning more into this kind of nostalgia trip they've been doing with the like SNES and like NES. You know, they've got that like not marketplace, but like
Yeah, that like digital
library
I
of
don't know
all
what
of
they
their
call it,
games.
of like the retro games.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're calling it. But they've got all of these games, and they keep every time we have a Nintendo Direct, they're like, good news, this game's coming to Flip Flop 7. You loved that game back in the 80s. Well, it's coming to the Switch now. And if they were leaning more into that, they might produce themselves a little tiny console if they fancied it, but I don't think they will. I think this is just maybe a glimpse at how the Switch 2 will look. But I don't know. I don't really think these two patents that they're kind of referencing are that important. Like moving the home button down to the bottom of the console is very much similar to like the Steam Deck having it on the top, and then similar to like the inner line isn't that different from a lot of other handheld. So yeah, maybe they're just moving some stuff around. I don't think it's necessarily a sign of a mini coming out anytime soon.
Is it the expansion pack subscription?
Yeah,
It said you
maybe.
need online and an expansion pack
Yeah, it's
subscription
the
to access
expansion
that.
pack
I don't know what it's
subscription.
But yeah.
I think like that is one way that this could like kind of justify itself, is if they brought out something that it's sort of Switch branded, it's under the Switch umbrella, but it only exists to maybe like kind of as an emulator for like older Nintendo games. That could be something, you know, coming soon, the Switch yesterday or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just play like
Switchback.
Yeah, the Switchback. You play like SNES games, maybe some N64 stuff, maybe even like Wii it depends how far they would want to take it. But like that would kind of be enough of its own thing to justify its existence. And the hardware would presumably be able to run all that stuff well enough. But to actually be just a Switch but smaller, I don't think this is gonna happen, or that it would work that well if it did.
Yeah. Some of these patents and features will likely find their way into the Switch too, in some capacity. But as you guys have said, they could well release another SKU for the original Switch. I think it's unlikely, but even if they do, I doubt it would take the form that @N Weedle is so confident that it will.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely.
He's so confident. Like, imagine being that confident about something
date.
that is not true.
Man.
Crazy.
Some people get all the confidence, don't they?
They do.
Unbelievable.
They really do.
If we got some confidence around here, that'd be a bit strange, wouldn't it?
You would.
It
We're
would
not
be a
very
bit
confident
peculiar.
normally.
Yeah.
It might even make the
It
headlines.
might.
It'd be weird news.
It's weird news time for some weird video game news. A reminder, if you want to submit some weird video game news to us, you need to submit it under the relevant social media post that goes out on a Tuesday. However, if you'd like to guarantee yourself a shout out at this point in the podcast, you need to go to patreon.com/Team TripleJump and sign up as a podcast producer, just like
G.Y. Goliath,
Nicole Hansen,
Duncan Wilson,
Chip Thompson's Thumbs,
Eric Sue,
Potato Shack 99,
Melody Elbonette,
Nexus Polaris,
Gabrielle Philippink,
Blake Thomas,
Janet Wicks.
Wicks.
And Great
Great
Giggity.
Giggity.
Thank you, podcast producers.
Thank you, podcast
Thank you
producers.
very
Thank you,
much. We
podcast
appreciate
producers.
you. Peter, have you got some weird news?
I have. It was submitted by Chip Thompson and Lloyd Williams.
Chris Thompson.
Sorry,
Chris
Chip
Thompson.
Christopher Thompson. Yes, that's his name. There were two write-ups. I almost brought the push square one because the subheading was
Right.
I like to see you wiggle wiggle.
Oh, for God's sake.
But I brought along the Kotaku one. Baldur's Gate 3 slyly adds jiggle physics for dicks, balls. I hate the way that just put
Dicks,
and
balls.
dicks, balls. Just write and, but it's a headline. You're not allowed apparently
Maybe that's the city and the state.
for dicks,
It's from
balls.
dicks,
For,
balls.
Yeah. Or
they've
maybe
added
it's-
physics specifically for the balls of Richard.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe it's like the Balls is his first name, Dix is his surname.
Balls dick.
Their subheading they went with is "Hey batter batter, hey batter batter swing."
Right.
Larian, probably.
Okay.
Like a quote from Larian.
Right.
Don't know what
Would
that
they
is.
say that? They're Belgian. I don't think they're. I think
No.
that's a
If
basic.
they were fans of High School Musical too,
Or
they
would
might.
they?
Yeah.
That's where the phrase originated.
Yeah, exactly.
By Kenneth Shepherd. Thanks, Kenneth.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kenneth. Hope the
Kenneth.
sheep are well.
Baldur's Gate. What?
Shepherd.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, it's because it's spelled
What?
differently, so I was really thrown off.
As in commander.
It's not spelled sheep herd. Sorry. What?
As in commander, shepherd.
I don't know how this spelled Commander
What?
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
What? What? Baldur's Gate 3's fifth big patch added some significant changes to Larian's Dungeons and Dragons RPG, including a new epilogue, modes, and ways to accomplish previously impossible feats. They've added modes, everyone.
Modes?
Non-specific modes, including a new epilogue, modes, and ways to accomplish previously impossible feats.
I
It
hope
was
it's
a
Mode
massive
7
update,
graphics.
to be fair, and I like to think it's all jiggle physics.
It also had a slightly less significant update that's probably unnecessary, but is still glorious to behold. Characters Dicks and Balls now have jiggle physics.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fans took notice of the update after it went live yesterday, November 30th. We at Kotaku are nothing if not thorough, so I opened up the game to check for myself. The easiest way to see a willy wiggle is by going to the character creator or magic mirror, which lets you view and rotate your character's model. If they aren't wearing any clothes, or you toggle the hide clothes option in the character creator, are you about to look for some balls there, Ashton?
No.
I can show you some physics in a moment. I saw you open your phone. I thought you were about to do some.
No,
must be
sorry,
looking
I
for
was
balls.
just getting my nose ready.
You can disable the clothes.
Yeah.
You just showed me. You just told me you could show me some balls in a minute.
Yeah, well, you'll see.
We've shown each
balls.
other strange things in this room on our phones.
They will rock out with their cock out, assuming that's the option you've selected for their junk. Rotate their model fast enough and everything starts flopping around. If you don't feel like booting up the game to see it for yourself, Ashton Matthews, here's a very uncensored video of Arundel, my bard tiefling daddy, from my co-op campaign to demonstrate.
My
You're gonna
bard
show us?
tiefling
Yeah.
daddy.
Go full screen.
It's driving me crazy.
Why won't it go full screen? Oh, I tapped it 1,000,000 times and then it freaked out. Auto rotate.
Stop tapping the balls.
No, not
Peter.
aeroplane.
They don't jiggle when you tap them.
My money don't
Hello?
jiggle.
Peter's loading it.
My phone
He's
won't
still
rotate.
doing it. He doesn't know how
I
his
mean,
phone
Peter's
works.
loading.
He's
My-
really trying.
My phone does not work anymore.
He's got the
I
spinning
really need
beach
a new one.
balls
Okay,
going
you're gonna
around
have to
on
just
his-
look real
on his
close.
face.
That's okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just kind of just doing this.
Yeah.
It's whipping about.
I mean, they do that in Cyberpunk, but they didn't add that after the fact.
No.
It just kind of happens.
It was a glitch. You could see them through their trousers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, is that it? In the run-up to Baldur's Gate 3 launch, genital customization was an exciting addition to its character creator. Between body, pronoun, and genital options, Baldur's Gate 3 lets you play around. Okay, that's the end, isn't it?
Baldur's Gate 3 is the third game in the Baldur's Gate series.
I guess I
based
now
on
need to go back and see if
D&D.
this changes any of the sex scenes.
No.
Probably won't.
Probably not.
No.
Unless it freaks out and just sort of jiggles all over the place.
I'm really close to romancing one of the characters in Baldur's Gate, and I've
yeah.
not gone back to play it yet.
It's going to
She
be my
keeps telling
Christmas
me-
game, I think, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, she keeps telling me, like, when we have a quiet night together, I'll come get you. And I'm like, yes.
That's
Ooh.
exciting.
And you've not yet had a quiet night.
No, I keep getting interrupted by a dream man. So
no.
annoying.
Dream Man?
Yeah.
What's a man doing there?
I don't
That's
know,
not-
I'm like-
Get out of there, man.
Every time I get woken up, I'm like,
It's a bit
but
gay
it's
of
a
you,
dream
Ashton.
man.
Dreaming about men.
Yeah,
What?
sorry. Cringe.
Men are cringe.
I have
Yeah.
some news. It was
Yeah.
submitted by Fred Whitaker Jr.
Oh.
Sick name.
Sick name.
It's on Gamer Ant by Dalton Cooper. I don't really like talking about this guy, but this tweet exchange was so cringe. I thought it was funny.
Oh, no. Do we
Elon
have
Musk.
to talk about him?
Yeah, Elon Musk tried Grand Theft Auto, but didn't like doing crime.
I like how we knew instantly which story it
Oh.
was.
Yeah. Controversial billionaire Elon Musk because he tried to play Grand Theft Auto 5 but didn't like doing crime in the game. Billionaire Elon Musk took to Twitter, so that's the same line again. Thank you, Gamer Ant. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the most profitable entertainment product ever produced. Did you know that? It has remained a huge earner since initial launch in 2013, with Rockstar Games supporting Grand Theft Auto 5's online mode with frequent content updates for over a decade. Did you know that? Bet you did.
No.
Anyway, they're releasing a Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. Wow.
Did you know that?
Did you know that?
Not a lot of people know that.
You were just talking about the Gamer Ants, and it made me remember that we haven't looked for Dead Island 2 The
No,
Spider.
I looked at the start.
I
and
assumed
see.
that they're mates. The Gamer Ants.
He's in.
and
He's,
Dead Island
he's
2
probably
The
in
Spider.
hibernation.
Yeah, I can't see him. Carry
No.
on. Sorry.
It's okay. The excitement over the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer has led to all kinds of discussions about the upcoming game and the GTA franchise as a whole, with Elon Musk even weighing in on the matter.
Oh, brilliant.
As if he doesn't
He's
weigh in on
so
everything.
reserved, usually.
Yeah. He never tweets. Crazy. Responding to
Exes.
a Twitter... No. I won't say that.
X is formerly known as Tweeted.
Tweeters. Responding on a Twitter, I love that everyone still calls it Twitter. It's
Yeah.
so funny to me. To a Twitter employee who listed out the GTA games that they have not played, which apparently includes all of them, Musk said, tried, I'm going to see his voice, tried but didn't like doing crime. GTA 5 required shooting police officers in the opening scene. Just couldn't do it. Ugh, get
Sounds
alive,
just like
Elon
that.
Musk. The Grand Theft Auto games have been hugely controversial for decades, and so Musk is far from the first person to take issue with the franchise's content. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares what he has to say? I don't. He's just a loser.
It says that. That's what Ant wrote.
Yeah. Anyway, that's basically all that they have to say on the matter. But yeah, Elon Musk's just being a weenie
He
all
played
the
a
time.
game called Grand Theft Auto and was surprised that you had to do crime.
Do a
Well, I guess he
crime.
didn't think you'd have to shoot police.
It's like...
But hasn't he done a big about face as well since, where he was tweeting Rockstar ahead of the trailer, which we
Yeah.
forgot to say ended up leaking ahead of time. They released
Yeah.
it early, and saying, "Hey, there's a huge gaming contingent here. Why not release it on X?"
Yeah,
Oh, God.
and then they put a link up to the YouTube video, and because they didn't just post it on X, they then started like the negatively affecting the tweet on the algorithm. Like if someone replies to the tweet, you couldn't actually see Rockstar's tweet about.
He is a colossal bellend.
He is, and there's
I
also-
am so sick of him.
There's this other guy on Twitter who is just a raging misogynist, and he always replies to Elon's tweets in the most like, "Oh, please notice me, Daddy,
No.
please,"
No.
all the time. And he replied to that tweet being like, oh yeah, I couldn't do crimes either. It's so hard to be a bad man. I'm such a good man.
I just like
Elon
being bad
Musk,
man
just
in
like
real
you.
life.
I'm just a terrible man in real life. I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah, I don't want.
I've blocked Elon Musk on Twitter and he keeps unblocking me. Like, he keeps making himself be unblocked. It really winds me up.
So cringe. It's just so embarrassing.
Yeah.
He's a dreadful man, and I do not wish to speak of him.
I just wanted to
Anymore.
not do crimes. Oh, that's what he sounds like.
Like Wario. Or Waluigi.
Yeah, he sounds like Waluigi.
Uh,
Anyway, what's your news?
my news. We're going back to
Please?
sexy now.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
bringing sexy back.
Oh,
yeah. Old something doesn't know how to act.
Yeah.
There we go. This is from Snowy Boy Yanni04 on Twitter, and it may have been on Facebook as well. I forgot to check. I'm really sorry.
Yanni. Or is it Laurel?
Shut
You
up, man.
Just be quiet, will you? This is from Good Tech.
I thought it was a really good 2019
It was really
reference.
good.
Yeah.
I remember it. I actually don't.
Jesus.
I never listened to that clip.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I remember the gold versus blue dress thing, but I never listened to that audio. So long, gay Bowser is my cultural touchstone on that. Kotaku, this is from Levi Winslow. Fortnite players are bummed about Solid Snake's nerfed ass. Here we go. Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 1 has begun, introducing new locations, skins, and weapons to unlock. One of the skins, Metal Gear Solid's Snake, is buried deep within this season's Battle Pass. And while folks are figuring out how to unlock the bonus cosmetic, it seems everyone's bummed by his newfound lack of cake.
It's a newfound lack of cake.
Solid Snake, the primary protagonist of many of the Metal Gear Solid games, has found himself in crossovers before Fortnite. He briefly appeared... Let's get to the point, shall we, article?
Did you know that? He's been in other games before. Did you know that?
While he generally maintained the same look across the games he cameoed in, one thing did change with each time Solid Snake showed up: the plumpness of his buttocks. His posterior is normally quite prominent with the amount of jumping and crawling he does out in the field. It's Kojima's vision. He really does have thick cheeks.
He does.
Have you looked?
Oh, yeah.
Have you looked?
I'm only human.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Can't miss them.
His
Yeah.
posterior is normally quite prominent. Blah blah blah.
And normally you look at him from behind. So, what am I supposed to do?
What else are you supposed to
How
do?
does he fit in that cardboard box?
How does he fit in the lycra
Yeah.
that he wears so much?
Talcum powder.
But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate decimated his cheeks, which definitely means something else in a different
Decimated
context.
his cheeks.
Leaving folks sad that his ass was flat. Now the same things happened in Fortnite. Folks took to the internet from TikTok to Reddit to Twitter to share their grief over developer Epic Games' utterly decakifying Solid Snake in Fortnite. You'd think someone just died with the levels of sadness that's all over the timeline as people post about how the former spy has zero assets. It's actually quite tragic. There's a tweet there. Otacon, they took my ass. I can't poo, but with a different word. We have to get Solid Snake out of the multiverse. If he shows up in another game, his ass is going to be fully concave.
Yeah.
Every time he meets Ryu from Street Fighter, he has less cake. What's the point anymore? It's getting smaller every game. There was someone who said that screaming and yelling and throwing up because they gave Fortnite Solid Snake a flat ass, which is deeply antithetical to everything Hideo Kojima stands for.
Yeah.
Tweeted SlayerFest 1999.
I think
Disgusting.
I think it's a hate crime against the girls, the gays, and the theys to
That's
take
good.
his
What was
ass
that?
away.
Say that again.
The girls, the gays, and
You
the
reeled that
theys.
off so casually. That's a great one.
Yeah.
The girls, the gays, and the theys.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Hey, what about the guys?
The guys can be upset too, but I think it was more of a personal attack against.
They get their own
the girls,
separate
gays, and
day
theys.
to be upset.
Yeah, they get Man's Day or
It was
whatever.
International Guys Day.
Yeah.
When's that?
Well,
Where we all get to look at
International
Snake's
Guys
ass.
Day is actually different from International Men's Day.
Which is
International
every
Men's
day.
Day is it's a
364
specific day.
days of the year.
But International Guys Day, that's when everyone's real chill about it.
That sounds fun.
Just the guys.
I
It's
can't-
the day
just
for the
bros.
guys.
It's just
Guys
the bros
hanging out.
It sounds
Yeah.
fun.
The boys.
That was my weird news. We now move on to the big discussion. It's big discussion time. Time for the big video game discussion that this week comes courtesy of Cameron Keywood on Patreon. Hello, Bap. What were your thoughts on everything shown / revealed / announced at the Game Awards? And did the award ceremony overall feel overshadowed by the GTA 6 trailer and the leaks? Well, firstly, GTA 6 trailer, I would say, was just in a completely different league.
Yeah.
And also, welcome to the big discussion. It's the
Yeah.
day after, well, it's the day of the Game Awards in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm joined by Ashton Matthews.
Yeah.
Peter Austin is presumably asleep.
Oh, I hope he's asleep.
It's 11 a.m. currently. We left the office at about 20 past 4.
Yeah,
this
I got
morning.
home last night at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not in the best place
No.
emotionally or mentally
No.
because we're not running on a great deal of sleep.
Yeah. I feel like if someone tried to create a human from memory, like I feel like I'm so close to being human, but just not quite there today. And also my voice is flipped.
Listen to it; it's amazing.
So deep.
Say,
I've never been this deep before.
What's this? Say some sort of advert slogan.
The Game Awards. They'll waste your time.
Whoa! You should do that next year.
Yeah, I will do.
But also, we did think that there would be a sort of slow descent into madness as it
Yeah.
went on. Genuinely, at certain periods, we were having a delirious conversation on the way back because you gave me a lift.
Yeah.
Like it did not feel like it was going to end. We were sitting there thinking, it's still not
Well,
finished.
it didn't help that we thought it would finish at 3 and it didn't finish till 4.
Didn't finish until 4.
So we were like, oh my God, we've got a lot to get through before 3 a.m. And then someone was like, you guys know it's 3.5 hours long, right? And we were like, excuse me, what did you just say?
Yeah.
And it did. It finished at 4:05 a.m. for us.
Yes.
And honestly, truthfully,
Bearing in mind that Ashton Matthews is on very little sleep.
I'm a very little sleep, and
But
I
she's
am
speaking
still
from her
sick,
heart.
and I am speaking from my heart. And I'm going to try and not be as negative as I feel about the Game Awards today.
Okay.
I honestly think that I've never wasted my time more than
Right.
I did last night watching the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Like it really felt like I regret not sleeping. Normally I don't feel that way. Normally I'm like, it was fun. We had a good time. Like, what a joy. Like, it was tiring and it was late at night, but we had a good time. Last night, I don't feel like I did have a good time last night. I woke up in a bad mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still in a bad mood about it, I think.
Now, Jeffrey's showcases have always had an element of overwhelming advertisements shoved down
Yeah.
your throat. That's always been a staple of it because, understandably, it's a business. He needs to pay for the whole thing. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
This, and I don't know if it's because it's been a long and busy week anyway.
No, it has.
And
It wasn't that.
And also that we're very tired. But this felt like far and away the worst one.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of, it was a triple pronged worst one. Not just in terms of the quality of the announcements,
Yeah.
the number of advertisements,
Yeah.
but also how people really, we'll get into it, but people really wanted to make these
The
heartfelt
disrespect
speeches.
to the actual awards.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, the Game Awards has never really been about the awards, but they
No.
make it seem like it is. And so when matey boy Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3 is up there accepting his
Yeah.
award, and which we'll get
What's
to the
his
awards in a
name?
minute.
His name is
Neil
Neil.
Newben.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
seem right. Where is it?
It's on the back page. I think you were looking at it there. Neil.
Oh yeah, Neil Newben.
Yeah. When he was up there and he was giving a really lovely, heartfelt speech about how, important the community
He'd only
is.
been up there for 30 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
he'd barely been up there.
He was being played off. And before that, they'd made a huge joke about how Christopher Judge takes up loads of time.
Yeah. And
They
he'd
had
taken up
various
loads of
celebrity
time.
people show up, like Anthony Mackie was there, and it felt like he was never going to leave the stage.
Yeah.
There was a whole Gonzo from the Muppets bit. It's a variety show, and no one does it quite like Jeff. Again, I'm trying to look for silver linings here.
Yeah.
But we're very tired. The awards probably deserve their own stream on their own,
Yeah, but
where they get the time.
This is the thing that I think made me the most annoyed. And it started when Neil won Best Performer. Is the sense of like, okay, we've not got much time. That's fine. But then they give the celebrity guests 2 to 4
Ages.
minutes to like preamble the award, do some nonsense on the stage, and then they give the actual award winners 30 seconds. So someone released like the press release that was sent to the nominees, and it said you will have 30 seconds to do your thank yous.
That's not very long.
It's not very long.
No.
For an entire game, like for some of these games, they're thanking like lots of people in their game studios. And even if they're just the performer, they still deserve to have their minute to say thank you. And it just felt really. And then they'd cut from like, oh, we've just played this guy off the stage. Now let's cut to an advert
It's
for
a Samsung
Samsung.
tablet thing.
And it's like, Jeff, I know that you've got lots of money, Jeff. And I know that everyone who's here tonight, all of those trailers, they've paid you to be here. I don't think you've paid anyone
big time.
to
The
turn
amount
up.
of games, as always, that are just like
Yeah.
coming soon, early access to Steam.
Yeah.
And to be very quickly, sorry to cut you off,
No, it's okay.
those games obviously deserve promotion
Yeah.
and so on. But they are always such a lead balloon to the pacing of these
Yeah.
showcases because people are not here for those.
That and the adverts as well. Like, I know that people obviously want to be at this event. They want to be in front of people's eyes. But you've got everyone. So there was a Steam Deck advert immediately followed by an advert for Lenovo's version of a Steam Deck.
Yeah, there were
And
so
then
many Steam Decks.
Later on, there was a Chromebook advert. And then you're
Yeah.
getting an advert for NVIDIA. And it's like, what the flip? I almost swore then, I got so angry. I'm like, I know that he doesn't need to do all of these adverts.
Yeah.
We could cut down the runtime, Jeff, by about 45 minutes and probably give everyone time to talk if you just got rid of some of the adverts.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be the game trailers. You can still show all the game trailers and you can have adverts in your stream. You can pop them up at the bottom like they do in America, or you can talk about them briefly. But they just were so many of them that it honestly felt like, more so than I think any other year, it felt like I was just being bombarded with like corporate shill. Like it was just like, here's another advert, here's another advert. At one point I got very angry and I did yell at Jeff. But it's just frustrating to sit there and watch it and know you're there for the games and then have him not mention anything about what's been going on in gaming this year. He kept saying it's a platinum age for gaming. Like,
Yeah.
thanks so much
Record layoffs.
yeah,
But
he
he
never
didn't acknowledge
mentioned the
that.
layoffs once. He never mentioned that, it has been a good year for games, but not necessarily a great year to be a game developer. That was never mentioned. And like, I just think that he has a platform that he could do a lot of good with.
Yeah.
And I think that this really hit home with me that, like, unfortunately, I think Jeff's lost his authenticity in my eyes. I think he's lost his I'm a gamer and I love games and I want to make these showcases something that gamers will love.
Yeah.
I think he's lost that. He doesn't do that anymore.
My question is, did he ever have that? Because I've always
I don't
felt that
know.
these, like, some shows are better than others for sure. But Jeff said, like, he's a marketing guy and he's really good at what he
Yeah.
does. No one else does. That's why there's nothing like it. That's
Yeah.
why E3 has died and Jeff Keighley will
Killed
outlive
it.
us all.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley murdered E3. He's really good at what he does and he knows how to play to his target demographic.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason he's so successful. And that's why we tune in every year.
Yeah.
But as you say, he's definitely, he's built this throne, this kingdom
Yeah.
on fostering good relations with the companies who are laying these people off. So
Yeah.
he kind of can't.
Yeah.
So
But
it's like you
also,
sort of
if
have to
anyone
know.
can, it should be him. Like, and respectfully, they're not going to pull out of being at his award show if he says, like, oh, it's been a really hard year for developers. Also, we've seen lots of layoffs and hopefully this year will be better. That's all he's got to say.
Yeah.
Just a little line that's like, well, it's been horrible to see everyone who's been laid off this year. We hope that next year brings lots of, great new games that people
I think
can
a couple
work
of the
on.
winners did say, like, it's really tough out there to make
Yeah,
games.
it is.
yeah.
But it should be also up to him to kind of bring that up. But honestly, I think I have in previous years been like, okay, well, I love watching the Game Awards late at night.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be tough to convince myself to watch it next
So many people in the chat were saying, everyone, we need to remind them next year when they say they're
Yeah.
going to do it, that they had a horrible time this year.
It just really felt like even like
Such a
it
tonal
was-
dissonance
yeah.
with reality.
It was
yeah.
the worst like showcase in terms of like the vibe you come away with.
Yeah.
Like I just felt like I'd been brainwashed. I felt like I was in The Clockwork Orange and someone had propped my eyeballs open and was
Yeah.
just force feeding me propaganda. But it was just, do you want to buy a Google tablet? No, I don't actually.
yeah.
I really don't.
I think that there is a future for this show,
Yeah.
but Jeff has his cake and eat it as well. I
Yeah.
think what he needs to do is have an award show that's a dedicated award show
Yeah.
that is for the games.
Put it beforehand.
Well, exactly. People can talk for like, say, give them 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Make it about the game. Have there be no adverts,
Yeah.
and then do Jeffrey's big Christmas game sack.
Yeah, the Christmas bash.
Like his Summer Games Fest and Gamescom Opening Night Live. Like let there be a dedicated showcase of games. Shove it full of as many bloody adverts as you want. Get Dwayne talking about Zoa energy drink. I don't care.
Oh my God, yeah.
If you because it's such a spectacle and a circus that it's almost worth watching because it's like what low will it stoop to this year? But keep like the integrity of these amazingly talented people who make these games separate because it just felt so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it always does, but this year in particular it felt very because there was a lot of speeches were very emotional and they were coming from the heart. You know, the Baldur's Gate 3 guys won loads, and again, I promise we'll talk about it soon.
Well, they won
and
Game
they
of
were
the
touching
Year.
and deservedly so. And they were touching on things like their flipping staff members who passed away during COVID and worked on the game.
Someone who passed away literally last month.
Yeah, a month
I don't know if
before
you've seen
it
the
launched
video,
or something. No.
But someone from the crowd is filming Baldur's Gate when they're doing their speech, and they're near the teleprompter. And as the guys talking about how they lost their colleague last month, who was like a key part of their team, they pan over to the auto cue, and it says, "Please wrap up." And it's like, oh my God, the guy's talking. I know that obviously these things are pre-scheduled in.
And also a
pre-plumbed in,
production
but-
of this scale is like, take nothing away from it. Like, it's really hard to organize.
Yeah.
And especially the like Neil going up first, like they want to hit the ground running in terms of like, okay, everyone's got 30 seconds. And he was probably the strictest example. It's very unfortunate that he was touching on the things he was touching on because it made them look really bad when they cut him off.
But people should have more time.
People should have more time, and a separate show would be perfect for that. It really would. Regardless, things were announced.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about them. Then we'll talk about the awards. We're not going to cover every single thing because, again, it was full of a lot of fluff, a lot of games that looked very similar.
Yeah.
And as we always say when we come away from these shows, we mean absolutely no disrespect to the thousands, hundreds of thousands of hardworking developers who put these games together.
All the people who like them.
All the people who like them, because these games definitely have audiences. But it's as we said earlier, it's definitely a pace killer when so many of these are back to back.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of these, and I'm going to just put a name on it, anime games.
It's a lot of anime
It feels
games.
like we see a lot of them every year, and they all look very similar. And
They're all from Nexon, and they've all brought the big money truck back up to
And I always
to Jeff.
find it hard to differentiate which one I'm looking at because they're all very similar in style and
But they're
aesthetic.
wildly successful as well.
They are, and great.
They are
and good for
wildly
them.
successful.
But sometimes it can feel like you say, coming to a screeching halt as you watch 5 anime games in a row.
Absolutely. And we've just cut off Neil from talking about how,
The community's full of survivors
how the
and
community
people can relate to Baldur's Gate.
exactly, and they
in
felt
many ways.
represented by the game and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But anyway, let's get into it. We of course will want your thoughts in the comments below. I don't suppose there was a community post that went
There
out
was a
with them.
community post, but I've only been in work for half an hour.
I'm sure people loved it.
I don't think they did.
I don't think there was a single person in our chat who was positive walking away from it.
The
at the end.
most of the energy was not good. There's
Yeah.
a few people who were like, yeah, I had a great
There's a
time,
couple of
lots of
things.
games for me, and then there was a couple of things, but I think the overall vibe was just not good.
Yeah.
I think that the games that are good was overshadowed by what we said about the vibes were not
The
good.
presentation and the whole production
Yeah.
itself. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hit us off, Ashton.
All right. The first thing that was announced comes from It Takes Two directors, aka Joseph Fares, our favorite boy, who is remaking the fantastic co-op game Tale of Two Brothers.
Brothers A Tale of Two
Brothers
Sons.
A Tale of Two Sons. Yeah. It didn't write. This doesn't have the name of the game here.
No, we've copied it
I've
right
copied
up.
it off someone. But it's coming out next year, so we'll have to see how that comes out.
That's a fantastic game. Have you played it?
No, but I've always wanted to. I keep downloading it and then not having time, and then like it gets deleted off the PlayStation. But it's one of the ones that's been on my list for a while.
It looks really cool, and as these guys are the master of co-op, like as we were saying on stream, I would really like it if I know the whole point is that you control each brother with a different part of the controller, but I would love a legitimate co-op mode where two of you could play through the game together. That would be.
I also
nice.
think it was interesting to see how much you can see It Takes Two in like just even in the trailer. It was like, wow, there's so many.
I can't
moments where
wait to see what Joseph is going to bring us
Me
next.
too.
I was really hoping we'd
Do you know
see
what?
something new last night.
They are so good at.
Is it
these co-op
Hazelight?
games.
I feel like it's Hazelight is the developer. But I'm not
They
sure.
are so good at these co-op games, and I am excited for the next thing that they bring.
It
out.
could be rubbish, and I'd still love
I'd
it
have a
because
good time.
mechanically it
So
would
play
be
with
a
my
fun
friend.
co-op experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Pony Island 2 Panda Circus.
That was weird looking.
That was weird and kind of upsetting looking. It had, what's his name in it? The guy
I don't know what his name
famous
is.
YouTuber and voiceover man. He played...
He played the squirrel in Ragnarok.
Did he?
I think so.
Okay, he also played one of the characters in
In
Borderlands
Borderlands
3.
3, yeah.
What's he called? Flag. He played Flag.
Yeah,
People know exactly who we're talking
You know who we're
about.
talking about.
Yeah, that was a bit weird looking.
But his name has avoided our brains.
Yes, it has.
Rise of the Golden Idol. This was very brief. This was the pre-show. It was literally just like a couple of shots. We didn't really know much about it, so we'll see what comes from that.
Usual June. That was a very interesting looking art style, I seem to remember.
Yeah, but I don't remember the gameplay. I don't know if we saw any gameplay for that one. But
Yeah.
we kept saying, like, not July.
Because it was
funny.
so funny. Yeah, had a
Yeah.
great time.
Arc Knight Enfield is a new strategy RPG, and I think we got some more content for that. I've not heard of this one before, but it was strategy RPG, so that's good.
New trailer for Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader.
Such a weird
Wow.
name for that one.
Yeah.
Thrasher is a new game from Thumper developer, and it's coming 2024.
Yeah, music, rhythm game.
Yeah.
Some people will upload videos themselves being
Was this
amazing at
the-
this, I imagine.
The like anime furries.
I don't.
Intro. Or was that-
Can't remember specifically, but I know that there were lots of sort of abstract shapes on show. It looked a bit like Tetris Effect.
Oh yes, you're right. Oh yes, I know now which one you mean. It looked
Yeah.
like Cocoon, but on steroids.
Yeah, absolutely. Persona 3 Reload. We got a new trailer for that. Lots of lovely, funky music.
Yeah.
I'm still not excited yet, but I know when it comes out, I'll lose my mind.
Yeah.
And I'll
You'll
have
have
to
a good
replay it.
time.
Yeah, because I only played the remaster at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So it still feels quite new because those games are so long as well.
Yeah.
But
Quite
yeah,
a commitment.
that's great. I want a Persona 4 remake as well.
Yeah.
Please.
Dredge and Dave the Diver, 2 indie games that were nominated in the show last night. They are teaming up to release a collaborative expansion next week for Dave the Diver. So that's very exciting.
World of Goo 2 is finally coming after 15 years after the first one. Didn't play World of Goo.
we saw this and we were like, oh, it's this Little Inferno. And then I was like,
Yeah,
it looks
very
like World
Little
of Goo.
Inferno.
And then it was like, World of Goo 2. And I was like, brilliant.
World of Goo.
So if you fancy a puzzler, that's coming very soon.
Yes.
Well, maybe. We actually don't know yet. Guess we'll find out.
At some point, it's coming.
Yeah.
What we got here? The Persona creators reveal new gameplay and a release window for fantasy RPG Metaphor ReFantasio, which looked pretty good, but it's one of those ones where it's not really up my alley, but that's coming.
Yeah. Then Matthew McConaughey was there for a bit.
Oh, is that this bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And he's in a new game called Exodus, which is, you know, the Buzz Lightyear movie?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's a game where time moves differently. We got very brief glimpse at looked like a third person over the shoulder gameplay. He kept saying that it'll be an entirely new, unique experience with every player. So
Yeah,
don't know what that means.
Very
but
vague. Jeff said it reminded him a lot of Mass Effect, which I think is just because it was
It's in
shooting things in
space.
space,
Yeah.
and that was it.
And then we kept saying every game looked like Mass
Looked
Effect.
like Mass
after
Effect.
that.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't look
apparently
anything like Mass Effect.
There's people from the team behind Halo, The Last of Us, and Baldur's Gate, so they've got a good backing from them.
Yeah, Matthew
so
McConaughey's in it
interesting. Yeah.
somewhere, apparently.
He's the main. He's like I think he's the main character. I'm
Is
not
he?
Sure.
His voice didn't sound like him. I didn't
But I think
anyway.
it's that man. I don't know. I wasn't listening that much.
God of War Ragnarok. Everyone went, oh, that's Kratos. What are they doing?
Yeah.
So this is God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. It's a DLC that's free and coming next week,
Yeah.
and it's a roguelike,
Yeah.
which was a bit of an anticlimax, but
It's the
lots of
same-
people love roguelites.
They do. It's the same energy as the Muspelheim, I think, from last.
Yeah, from the first game.
Yeah.
That with the different trials and working your
Yeah.
way through. But it seems to have a
It has
narrative
more-
element as well.
They've called it an. Sorry, excuse me. They've called it an epilogue story for Kratos. So there might
Yeah.
be some extra content, but I don't know if I can bring myself to remember how to play that game and then do
Well,
a
exactly.
roguelike.
Yeah, I've got to relearn how to play, and then
Great game. If it was a story-based DLC,
I would play it.
I would
I'm
be
not
all in
reinstalling
it.
it for a roguelike
No, I'm not
DLC
either.
though, unfortunately.
Then, I actually really like the look
This
of
one does
game.
look fantastically weird.
The team behind Untitled Goose Game have released a cooperative online walker talker. I can't remember what it's called, and they've not written it down here, so that's good.
Big Walk.
Big Walk.
Or Our Big Walk
Our
or
Big
something.
Walk, yeah. Where you and I think it looked like you could have 4, maybe more friends involved
And
in
it
it.
showed people in the distance
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. You're like a little funny little creature.
It's sort of weirdly almost like the graphics for the world are really
Yeah.
good, and then the thing you play as is this like horrible little
Like,
abomination
yeah.
made of shapes, and when
Yeah.
you talk, it's like a little newt from
Yeah,
Pingu.
it looks good.
It looks so weird. They're a fantastic studio. I can't wait to give that a go.
Yeah. It looks good. I'm excited for that.
Yes. Then we got to see Akumi Nakamura, formerly of Ghostwire Tokyo, who went viral
She's
at E3
brilliant.
a few years ago. She left, what are they called? I've completely forgotten the studio that makes
can't remember.
Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks.
Yes.
She left Tango Gameworks a couple of years ago and started her own studio called, I've lost my place on the page, no,
That's the
it
name
doesn't.
of
It doesn't
it.
say what the name of the studio
No,
is.
I don't know if we knew what the name of her studio was.
It might have said it on there, but she came out and she was delightfully weird, as she always
Yeah.
is, and elicited a lot of laughter and lots of sort of hand gestures and pausing for effect. And she's so odd. And
I wanted her to host the whole thing.
and we love her. And you can go and support her new game, which is called Kamuri. Right now, we
Yeah, it
got a
looked
CG
interesting.
trailer, but we don't really.
The
know
art
what it
style
is.
looked cool, and I'll be interested to see how it plays. I mean, people love Ghostwire Tokyo, so maybe it'll be really good.
Maybe it will.
I really like that Jeff said, "Oh, it does not currently belong to any publisher, but she's showing it now." And I was like, "Okay, good for her." Now, at some point, and I've not put it in the thing, so that's a bit of a shame. But there was new gameplay for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
And they announced that it's coming 2024.
Yeah, we don't have a date still.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that game. And this was the second thing we've seen of it, and I thought we might because it keeps appearing in Xbox trailers at the cinema.
Sizzle reels.
Yeah, exactly. But I wish we had a release date. I don't trust it because they kind of implied it was coming this year, and now it's not coming this year. But hey, as long as it's going to be good, I'm happy with it. I'm excited for more.
Visually, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Sorry, I threw off now. It's Ori and the Blind Forest devs to the next one.
Yeah, they've jumped from Metroidvanias to action RPGs with another gorgeous game called No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah.
I can't, as is always the case with these wrap-ups, I can't remember the names of the games.
No, it's the one where there was like a dead old king, and then there was like a big bit, and then we thought it was pirates,
remember.
and then it kind of it had a similar like aesthetic, and this probably isn't correct, but it reminded me of Trine a little bit, and then it was kind of like isometric in places, but you followed like a single player narrative. It looked pretty cool.
It did look cool.
Art style looked really interesting, and Ori is hard as nails, so I'm hoping it won't be as hard as Ori and the Blind Forest was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then Sega.
Sega's Renaissance, it's happening, everyone.
It is happening. They announced 5 games that they're coming at some point.
Is that Jet Set Radio?
Yeah.
What's this now?
Hey,
oh
that's
my God.
Crazy Taxi.
That's
What the
Crazy
flip?
Taxi. Come on now.
So they're remaking or rebooting.
They're rebooting, I
potentially.
think. These are 5 new games.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Crazy Taxi, and more.
Yeah, these games are now, it said at the end that they're all now in active development, but they showed gameplay of each of them. And I think this is great. I wish more publishers reached into their back catalogue and was like, hey, you remember this game you used to love? Well, here's a complete reimagining for modern. It might turn out to be a bit naff, but Sega fans have got to be very thrilled. I loved Crazy Taxi as well. I want to play more Crazy Taxi. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is the new Budokai Tenkaichi game. If you like Dragon Ball, good news.
There's more.
There's more balls.
Yeah. Then Supermassive showed up, and we were like, please, Dark Pictures. But it wasn't Dark Pictures.
No.
They're doing a Dead by Daylight spin-off that is about the one of the killers. It's an interactive movie, very much similar to a lot of their other stuff. It's called The Casting of Frank Stone. And it looks interesting. Yeah. If they do more of these, like if they dive into the back catalogue of Dead by Daylight villains, they've got some really interesting stories to explore. So I'd be really interested in seeing what they'll do with this and how it turns out. We love one of these anyway, so we'll give it a go. When
Absolutely. I'm just really glad that it's one of those interactive games, survivors make decisions, that kind of stuff. Hopefully they can, I'm hoping that if we can get like 2 games from them a year or 2 games from them every couple of years. Obviously we got the Quarry and a Dark Pictures game last year and we were spoiled. And this year we haven't had anything. No. So I'm hoping next year we might end up with 2 games from them.
Because this is coming in the summer. I think they said August, Don't quote me on that. And then we might get another one later on in the year, which will be nice. Yeah. But hey, I'm excited for this. It looked good.
Me too.
As looked good as spooky can get.
Rise of the Ronin from Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja. It's coming out on the 22nd of March 2024. Is that Neo? This could be Neo. Is that Neo? It's not Neo.
It's not Neo.
Just looks
this
like
is the
Neo.
one with guns.
Yeah, you have a little musket.
Yeah, you can choose to have a little musket instead of 2 swords.
And you can zip around with a grappling hook.
Yeah, we've seen that one before.
Yeah.
Then we got what felt like a really flipping long trailer
Yeah,
for
it
the
was
Outlast
loud.
Trials. It was. It's a console release happening on March 5th. People really like this game, and it
Mhm.
does look fun, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I might give it a go at some point. It's been kind of on my list for a while, but it's a spooky game, and I feel like you have to be in the right attitude for a spooky game.
Yeah.
But hey, people seem to love it, and we watched a bunch of streamers screaming.
Screaming, yeah, so loud.
Clearly, we need to play like spooky games
What,
so that we
scream?
might get in the Game Awards.
I don't want to have to do that. Like, I don't want to have to scream against my will just for a
But what if
brief
you're
moment
scared?
of fame. What if my what?
You're scared.
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 Oh my god! I don't understand what you're saying. This was a big one. I mean, obviously Jeff's best friend was going to be there, but Hideo Kojima came out, and he came out of a spooky door after debuting like some footage for what he was working on. I believe this is the Xbox collaboration game he's making.
Yeah, it is.
Not Death Stranding 2.
No.
And it was a bunch of like upsettingly realistic faces sort of in a void,
Well,
really close up.
I don't know if it was their real face or if it was.
I think it was game.
Unreal Engine.
I think it was game graphics.
Yeah,
but
but I think it was very much taken from a footage of their face. Like it wasn't.
yeah.
I don't think they. And they did that themselves. I think they acted it out and then they made it in Unreal. But it
Well,
looks good.
they recited like some sort of upsetting nursery rhymes, like
Yeah.
children's story kind of thing. And as it progressed, it got like a bit more unsettling. We're like, what's going on there? And then it
Yeah.
ended with the sound of a door opening and the woman just like screaming,
Yeah.
like, oh my god, what's this? And then there's a door on stage,
Yeah.
and out comes Hideo.
Hideo Kojima.
He's there, and he says, "I'm making a horror game," and
Yeah.
we're like, "Absolutely, that sounds
Cool.
great. Anything but Death Stranding."
Yeah.
This make Silent Hills. Do what you were going to do. Make something really messed up.
It's called OD, by the way.
And he wasn't alone. He's only working with award-winning director Jordan Peele
Yeah.
of Get Out fame
And Nope.
and Nope. And yeah, they're collaborating on this horror game. I'm really interested in this. This is exactly the kind of stuff I want to see Kojima
he
make.
said, it's a game, it's a movie, and it's unlike any other game or piece of media out there.
Press circle to crouch.
So I'm hoping it's like a Dark Pictures game. That's what I'm hoping for.
I hope it's like sincerely so messed up and spooky. Like
I think it will be.
I think it'll be too spooky for me. But
might
like,
be.
this is the kind of weird, like fourth wall breaking strangeness that I really want to see Kojima work.
Yeah, it was interesting to see like something from him that isn't just Death Stranding, because I feel like everyone's just more Death Stranding. But I'll be
Yeah.
interested to see how he does this. So yeah, very exciting for that.
Yep.
Then we got a look at Jurassic Park Survival, which, sorry, is a single-player, first-person game by the looks of things, which takes place, I think they said, like, the day after the original movie.
Yeah, the 1993 movie.
And you play as a woman who is still in the park and getting
Yeah.
chased by dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Everyone was very excited about this, and I agree. I'm not a big fan of Jurassic Park, but I can appreciate being chased by dinosaurs is spooky. There was a couple of questions about whether people weren't sure if it was going to be a single player experience or if it was going to be like a 1v4 kind of situation. I was like, I want to play as a dinosaur. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But I think it is a single player
They've
experience.
confirmed it's a single player game. Yeah.
We got a little tiny bit of gameplay, so we'll have to see how much more we'll get of that. But we haven't got.
It was
a
just
release
her
date, but-
falling over, I think.
Yeah.
It was all her going, ah, and cowering
and then
before
like
a
falling
dinosaur.
off a like a wooden plank in
Right.
the water, I think. But yeah, no release date for that yet. But
Hey.
exciting for dinosaur fans all over the world.
Could be a really good
Big
dinosaur
day
game,
for
that one.
dinosaurs.
Fortnite Rocket Racing launches today at the time of recording.
Yeah.
It's Rocket League but racing and in Fortnite.
Yeah.
There was so much Fortnite at the Game Awards this year.
So much Fortnite.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah.
Black Myth Wukong is coming out on August the 20th, 2024. That's still quite a way away, but this trailer made it look like it's pretty flipping far along. Lots
this
of like
was the monkey.
Journey to the West one. With like really upsetting creature designs and looks really, really
It did look
interesting,
good.
but it might be very hard because
Yeah.
it's a bit Souls-like.
Yeah.
So I'll keep an eye on this one for sure.
Then we got Warframe Whispers in the Wall, which I don't remember that much about, but it's coming next week. So get excited for that.
Banishers Ghosts of New Eden.
This is the Yorkshire, the one that's set in Yorkshire.
Oh yeah, well we've just had CG
and
trailers.
we've just had CG trailers, and we finally got a little bit of gameplay yesterday
Yeah.
ahead of it. It's coming out in February. So it's good that we finally got some gameplay. But I'm not sure what that game is, really. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe close to time I might get some more stuff. No one's really talking about this game. But that's because they've not really told us anything. So it's interesting concept, but we'll have to see what happens with it.
Yeah. Tales of Kenzira Zhao. I might be mispronouncing that. That's a new EA Originals game. Voiced by Abu Bakr Salim, and he came up and gave a very heartfelt speech about how his dad got him into games. And
is this the one where our stream died?
Our stream died just before this trailer worked, which is really annoying. But yeah, his father has passed, and he really wanted to honor him, so he threw his lot in making a video game. And we sincerely wish him the best of luck with it.
We didn't see that because
unfortunately not. Our stream died. Which
also
really
we didn't see. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. We only saw the very end of this trailer, but it did look pretty cute from what we saw.
Yeah.
It's the next Don't Nod game, and it's a timey-wimey teen drama set across 2 timelines. So we saw them as teenagers and we saw them as adults. So it's a little bit like...
Life is Strange. It's the Life is Strange, folks. So it'll be a lot like that. I'm interested in that, for sure.
Yeah.
First Berserker Kazan, which is an action RPG, was revealed.
Yeah. Then the Dishonored devs, specifically Arcane Leon, announced that they are making an immersive third-person Blade game.
Yes.
But we won't see that for a while because the guy said, "Sit back and let us cook," and then he kicked the camera.
Yeah, he's so cool. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him before at different things. He's great and has a great accent.
Yeah,
and I'm a big fan of his video games.
Yeah, interesting to see what they'll do with this. Obviously, they're quite famous for doing first-person experiences, so I'm interested to see how they do third-person. I'm kind of... I like a first person, especially from Arcane Leon. Everything they do, I really like.
It's important to remember that Arcane Austin are the ones that did Redfall.
Yeah.
This is a
we briefly thought it was Redfall.
Yeah,
because we were like, it's Arcane, and then there was a vampire tooth.
Yeah, it's like, not again. No, it's Blade. No. Blade sitting in a chair. He's gonna get like a close shave. Yeah,
it's cool.
I'm interested in this. Absolutely interested.
Before we move on to the next thing, I'd like to tell you about something that happened. There was an Alan Wake dance.
Did this happen at this point?
It happened somewhere in the in the latter third of the game.
This is the bit from the game that everyone shares online and says, this is crazy. But they did do a whole dance number.
Yeah. And I'm going to get myself in a bit of trouble now.
Okay. You're going to upset some people.
I might. But as much as I enjoyed the dance, that was cool. The guy who plays like Alan Wake in all of the kind of trailer content, and I assume he's probably in the game as well because they do a lot of the live action stuff in there. He was doing the dance with a bunch of people. That was cool. The singers of the song were singing it. That was fun. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, Sam Lake's up on the stage doing the dance. And I thought it was so flippin' weird that the game director of the game is front and center doing a dance on the stage at the Game Awards while he's pushed Alan Wake further away. Now, that's so weird. And I was just sat there like, why is Sam Lake on the stage?
He was having the best time.
Yeah, he was.
He was grinning from ear to ear.
But why was he there?
I don't know.
It's so strange. Imagine
know.
they're doing a Borderlands 3 number and Randy Pitchford gets up on the stage.
That is, Randy would do that.
Yeah, I know he would. But we'd all be like, why is Randy Pitchford there? Why was Sam Lake there? It was so weird.
I don't know.
Anyway, that whole thing was, I felt like, by this point, it's 3 a.m.
Speaking of time dilation, that was one of the moments where it's like, I don't know if I'm dreaming.
I think I've entered a coma, and this is what's happening forever.
There was also another live performance, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's main theme, which is not
Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh yeah,
had a really
the Hellblade
cool
performance.
well.
Yeah, when they were all in the traditional garb, that was so cool. But the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth one, they played the main theme, but it was one of those. Final Fantasy fans will know exactly what I'm talking about. Not the main theme in terms of do 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 or like an orchestral thing. It was there's always like a weird cheesy pop song that goes with every or a ballad it doesn't play in the full game. It's just like a weird promotional thing Square Enix does. They did that live. It was wonderfully performed. The singer was incredible. But they showed
she was in Great Showman. She sung Never Enough in Great Showman. She was really good.
Do a Google. But they showed lots of footage in the background while that was playing. Lots of Gold Saucer stuff. Them merrily having a wonderful. I can't wait. I'm so excited for that game.
It's gonna be good.
It can't be bad.
It was supposed to be Aerith singing it, but it didn't sound like Aerith. So I'm wondering if
there'll
be a different voice in the.
I don't think she'll sing it in the game. I think they just animated some stuff.
People said that the girl who plays Aerith cannot sing, but I feel like if they were going to get someone to sing as Aerith, I'm hoping like they'll
It will
I
sound
assume
like her.
they just animated her as the
Singing
singer for
it,
the music
yeah.
video, but it won't be in the game.
No, it's
I
kind of
wouldn't have
random.
thought.
But it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
was.
Sorry. The next thing we saw was open world game Last Sentinel from GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2's Veterans New Studio. It's a Tokyo dystopian one. It basically was the one where there was a bunch of like little kids and robot women
Oh yeah.
in a
Mummy, I'm scared.
Mummy, I'm scared. And then Mummy's head has been smashed into a door. But don't worry, Mummy's a robot.
The demon's here.
And then a lady saved them all. And then we kind of got, that was like the CG trailer that we got. It's them against like the androids. Or some androids are good, some androids are bad.
Authoritarian
Yeah.
thing. I didn't really get much from it.
I'm intrigued by it, and it looks a little bit cyberpunky in the city that we were in. So yeah, I'm interested to see more from them and see what we get because, like I say, it looked good.
Mech Break has a closed alpha soon. If you're looking forward to Mech Break, that was just a big mech game. We're like, is it Gundam?
Is it
Is it
Transformers?
Gundam? I think it's called Gundam. Running past the statue of Gundam there, I had a friend
my
text
friend
me.
texted me, tell me
It's
there.
called Gundam.
I've
So
said it.
there, I've said it now. Gundam.
Yeah.
It wasn't Gundam
No.
or Rubicon.
Mecha Break.
Was it Mecha Break? Oh yeah, I said it wrong. I think, did I say Mech Break? I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
It's coming soon.
You get it.
Yeah.
There is a new Warhammer 40k game. Space
Yes.
Marines 2 is
People are
coming
very
in
excited about
September.
Space Marine 2.
Yes.
Yeah, September next year.
And then we got to look at the guy who made Payday.
Who was very drunk.
Who was a bit drunk. He called Jeff delicious and touched his suit.
Yeah, Jeff was desperately
looked
trying to
very
hurry
uncomfortable.
him
He
along.
looked like he
It
was
a
trying to
bit
get one of his
weird.
ginormous security guards to come over. He
Yeah.
had some big, beefy boys on
Oh
the
yeah,
floor.
no one was getting on that
No
stage.
one was getting on that stage this
My
time.
joke tweet about that he would do it from inside Magneto's plastic prison
It was quite-
turned out to be actually quite true because at several
delivered
points
most of it inside
he
the
was
tube.
inside a weird tube for a
Yeah.
lot of it. Yeah.
But this is called Den of Wolves. It seems a co-op heist kind of situation
Mm-hmm.
that looks to be online against other people, or maybe you're just like there was just a bunch of teams that you could join. But to me, it implied like there's like 4 gangs of 4 trying to rob the bank, and you're trying to be the first ones to do it. I wasn't sure, but I think we'll probably get more information about that soon.
Yeah.
But they've written here that it looks deliberately different from Cyberpunk 2077. So
Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Exoborn. That's coming soon. It's not necessarily soon, but it exists. It's an open world tactical extraction shooter from some Division people. The Division,
Yeah.
I assume. I can't really remember that. I think I was dying at this point.
It was a
in the
shooter.
show.
We saw a lot of those.
Yeah.
Asgard's Wrath 2, which I don't remember much about that. Do you remember what that was?
No,
No.
I don't.
Probably an anime.
It's launching next week. Probably
Yeah.
an anime.
Yeah.
Light No Fire. This is interesting. This is the new No Man's Sky. So Sean Murray, that liar.
Yes.
And it's his new game, blurring the lines between Valheim, Death Stranding, and the open adventure of Lord of the Rings.
I said
is what it
Valheim
said.
when I saw it last night.
You did, yeah. It looked interesting. He was talking a
Yeah.
big game like that mountain is bigger than Everest.
You can climb the mountain.
You can climb it, and is it like a co-op game? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think so.
It showed like a group of people. It was a bit like a big walk, but more
Yeah,
serious.
yeah.
And it showed villages and towns.
So
So
you can build and stuff, and you can explore the world. And there seemingly was like big enemies, like in Valheim, when eventually when you went in a new area, there'd be a big enemy that you could fight to upgrade stuff.
I wish them all the best. They're still technically an indie studio, and I really hope this hits the ground running
Yeah.
for them.
We
It's
also
very ambitious.
Yeah, we got a big trailer for No Man's Sky, how it's 10 years old and everything that they'd done to it. So that
Yeah.
was kind of random. Then Simu Liu came out, talk about how he's in a game
Oh,
called Stormgate.
Talked for ages.
And then he also presented an award, but I can't remember which one he presented. But yeah, he came out to talk about this game and how he was in it. And then he was like, it's on Kickstarter now. But I don't, how have you paid Simu Liu to be in it if it's on Kickstarter? But okay, cool.
No idea.
And that's coming 2024 summer for early access. So I don't remember much about the actual gameplay of that one. I think our stream cut out again at that point. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we did have a couple of down issues.
But yeah, that's happening. Interesting.
Final Fantasy 16's DLC is out right now, and apparently there's more coming in 2024. This adds what many people were predicting would be the final. I can't remember what they're called in the game. In other games, they're called summons. Obviously, in this game, they're a much bit icons. Yeah, they're icons, I believe they're called. So there's
was the
Ifrit.
Leviathan one,
So
wasn't
yeah,
it?
it's the water one was missing, Leviathan, and this one is about Leviathan. And yeah, it's out right now.
I made a
It's pretty cool.
mistake.
Go on.
I told you about the wolf one, Den of Wolves. That was not the one I meant.
No,
That's the finals I was talking about.
of course.
Was
yeah.
the other heisty one with the 4-player co-op thing. Den of Wolves was the like kind of semi-realistic shooter where you were robbing a bank that people briefly thought was that game, the one where like that was really hyper realistic. That's Den of Wolves. It wasn't. The finals is out now apparently, and that's the one with the 4-player co-op that was
Right.
maybe versus for a heist. Sorry, I got confused. There was 2 heist games very close together.
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
The big final announcement, which you were so nonplussed.
It wasn't even matter about like the game. I thought it looked rubbish. Nonplussed, or I think you're both right.
Yeah, well, I just combined the two.
Cool.
Non-fussed,
Yeah.
not plussed.
I wasn't fussed.
I wasn't
either.
plussed.
I
just want to go to bed.
I think this game looked bad. I think it wasn't even a matter of like. So for context, it's Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, the final thing they showed was Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
And it's going to be waiting for a while for this one. I think a couple of
Yeah.
years. It's
It's
the
2025.
follow-up to Monster Hunter World, which
Yeah.
obviously was hugely successful in 2018.
And I like Monster Hunter. I've played it before and I think it looks great. But I think this one looked bad. Like when they showed it at first, I was like, this looks terrible.
rough, didn't it?
Like it had like aardvark looking monsters and then they were being chased by some sand beast. And like all the animations looked bad. The color palette wasn't good. I was like, what is this? Is this like are we doing a remaster of something? Because this can't be the final product.
Yeah.
And I was a bit mean about it, but it also was 4 a.m. So, give me a break. But I thought it looked bad. And I don't know why everyone was. I understand why people are excited because people love Monster Hunter, but I didn't see many people saying like this looks bad, and I really didn't think it looked good at all.
Yeah, I mean, our chat was pretty damning of it. Monster Hunter has obviously a huge contingent of fans and followers. I think it's a bit. We've definitely come away from these showcases saying this before, but I think it's a weird one to end on.
I think it's such a weird one to end on.
Yeah.
I was so surprised that Hideo Kojima was in the middle. I was like, if he's in the middle, what are we
Yeah,
getting at the
honestly,
end?
I think that would have been a really good closer. As predictable as it would have been to have Hideo be the main event,
Yeah.
that game is so intriguing.
Yeah.
People are coming away talking about it, and I
Yeah.
think that would have been a stronger ending.
Yeah, I think it was a very strange one to choose to end on. I
Yeah.
really do. And I think that, like, I know Monster Hunter has a lot of fans, but I don't know if it has the same, like, wow factor as we've seen in previous years. Like, we've had God of War Ragnarok before as the final thing, and I do not think it is on the same level as that.
Personally, no, me neither.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little way away, so they
Yeah.
brought some devs out and they spoke about it for a little while, and
Yeah.
then we got the Game of the Year awards, which we will talk about
Yeah.
shortly. But there's one final thing, isn't there, Ashton?
Yeah, it didn't happen technically in the show, but it happened afterwards. But
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 is now available on Xbox.
Hooray!
That's good, and I fully recommend that
It
you should
won
play it.
so many awards. We're going to rattle through these awards now. If I
Yeah.
read the title of the award, do you want to tell us who won?
Sure can.
Innovation and accessibility.
Forza Motorsport.
Games for impact.
It went into Ciaran, and I'm very upset. I'm not upset. I'm very happy about it. Happy is the emotion I'm feeling.
Best ongoing.
Cyberpunk 2077. That doesn't count, and I think they shouldn't have won.
Best community support.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Best independent game.
Sea of Stars. Everyone's very happy about that.
Best debut indie game.
Cocoon.
Best mobile game.
Hockey Star Rail.
Hockey Star Rail. Best VR/AR.
Resident Evil Village VR mode. Interesting choice.
Best action game.
Armored Core 6. Fires of Rubicon.
Just make Dark Souls, will you? Come on.
Yeah.
Best action adventure.
The Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom.
Best RPG.
Baldur's Gate 3. Sorry, Starfield.
Best fighting game.
Street Fighter 6.
We should say Starfield had a trailer in there that basically was just, we're still here.
Yeah, good. Well done, everyone, for being
still here.
nominated. It was kind of sad at the end. Like, they literally said, like, congrats to all the nominees tonight. We hope you have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Wish we were part of the gang, but we're not. We only got one. And Todd Howard was there. And the people from Fallout TV
Yeah, the Fallout
show,
TV show guys
they
were there
turned
as
up
well,
to present
yeah.
an award. They presented adaptation, I think. And they were like, hey, boss man. And they panned to Todd Howard, and he did not look happy.
He was having
to
a
be
bad
there.
night at work,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What did I get up to?
Family, I think.
Did I don't think I did best fighting game.
Oh.
Best fighting game.
Street Fighter 6.
Best family.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Best sim/strategy.
Pikmin 4, get in.
Best sports/racing.
Forza Motorsport.
Best multiplayer.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Best adaptation.
The Last of Us by HBO.
Player's voice.
Baldur's Gate 3 won that too.
Best game direction.
Alan Wake 2 won that.
Best narrative.
Alan Wake 2 also won that.
Best art direction.
Alan Wake 2 also won that.
I think that some of these categories are total BS.
Yeah.
Because I don't disagree that Alan Wake 2 has fantastic art direction. I just think there are games in there like Hi-Fi Rush which are all about the art direction.
Yeah.
And I feel like those deserved it maybe a little bit more.
I concur.
Best score and music.
The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, composed by Nintendo Sound Team.
Good job, Nintendo Sound
Yeah.
Team. Best audio design.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hooray! I'm really glad
really happy for
that
them.
won an award.
Yeah.
Best performance. Best
Neil
performance.
Neil Newbon from Baldur's Gate 3 played a Historian, and he was very nice. He had a cool outfit on.
Yes, he did. Most anticipated game.
Shock to no one, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yes. And game of the year.
Baldur's Gate 3. Congratulations,
How many
Larian.
did Baldur's Gate 3 win in the end? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5,
Yeah.
6. They won 6 awards.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Deservedly so.
Yeah.
What a coming out party for
Yeah,
Larian.
definitely.
Fantastic stuff.
No wins for Spider-Man.
No wins for Spider-Man, no?
But to be honest, and I feel the same about Starfield, those games I don't think needed the awards. They're big enough in their own right for it to kind of not even, but I don't think they would even
It doesn't,
bother by it.
I don't think it affects it in the slightest. We'll talk about it more in the Game of the Year podcast, but Spider-Man 2 was
A
so
fantastic
fun.
game.
And I had such an amazing time
Yeah.
with it. And I still think about it. And I booted it up a couple of times just to have a little swing around. It's a phenomenal game. And it doesn't need the flowers
No.
because it will sell 1 billion copies.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
But also Starfield has sold a lot of copies, and I
or at least
know
a lot
that
of people have played it.
a lot of people
We
played
know that.
it. And I don't necessarily feel like they needed the awards. I think it would have been good for both of them to have an award so they could put it on their trailers. But hey,
I don't think Starfield deserves one.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I don't
I am
want
going to
everyone,
say,
all the Xbox fans to get angry. at
well,
me.
the Xbox fans can get angry, but
And they will.
I am also an Xbox fan, and I couldn't stick with Starfield, and I know
Yeah,
that
I
lots of
couldn't.
people are the same, and I feel like, Bethesda have a track record for producing incredible games, and Starfield is not incredible,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not their best work,
Well,
and this year had a lot of games that I think were a lot
Yeah.
better than it.
My boyfriend's been playing it, and he's got quite a way into it now, and he's discovered kind of like the big twist in it, and that's really cool. And what he's been telling me is like really interesting. But I just think no one played that far in.
Yeah.
Really, that's why they didn't necessarily get narrative, because it's so bogged down by everything else that's in it.
You
that
can
don't
look at
really
the
get to
achievement
experience
statistics
it.
as well and see how far most players ended up getting. It's really interesting because like we talked about this on the podcast a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
because Bethesda has this reputation for always making the best RPG any year that it comes out,
Yeah.
and that hasn't happened this year.
Yeah.
Their reaction is fascinating, and the reaction is unprecedented, i.e.
Yeah.
going on Steam and replying to
telling them that
reviews
they're wrong.
or putting an advert, which isn't their choice, this will have been Xbox, in the Game Awards that says, hello,
Well done, everyone.
our game's here, it's
Yeah.
out, and I don't think it's the best look, but I sincerely hope that this doesn't
Affect
affect morale at the studio,
Yeah.
because they are an amazing game studio,
Yeah.
and the next Elder Scrolls game is going to do
And
really
they might
well.
have loads more content planned that's
Yeah.
going to really help out.
The game could be
the
very
vibe.
different in a year.
It definitely could be. And we should say that there was a trailer for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora
Oh,
that
yeah.
happened relatively early on, because it came out on Thursday, yeah. And it's at one point, they were just like technical. They were like getting quotes from like reviews. And it was like technical feat, entertaining.
Yeah, it was just
It was almost
weird
like
single
our
words.
game
Yeah.
that was made.
Is out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very weird
It was
quotes. Anyway,
But yeah,
that was the Game Awards
It was.
2023.
what did you guys think? I know that we've been quite negative about it, and I think deservedly so. I'm not going to apologize for how we feel about it, because I think we're right.
Mhm.
Because we always are. That's who we are. We're
We're-
always right.
we're never
people on
wrong.
the internet. We're always right.
Do you think Bethesda was robbed? Do you think that you're right?
Yeah, I just can't breathe.
Do you think there are some games that should have been nominated that weren't? Do you think the categories were weird, like having indie, where the indie was actually published by a huge studio
Well,
and
there's
the
quite a
studio was owned
few
by that?
kind of
Lies of P shouldn't have been an RPG. That's a weird one. That deserved to be in a different category to
Yeah.
stand a chance. It didn't stand
Yeah.
a chance in there.
It really didn't.
It's
I
a
think
shame.
that. Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe next year Jeff will. I don't think you will, but I'm hoping there'll be some changes made from this year. I don't know if people aren't outraged by it. Nothing outrageous happened, but I'm wondering if there will be another negative reception to it to kind of make them realize that, like, if they keep doing what they're doing, people are not going to watch their show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've obviously half of the world are already watching it at 3 a.m. anyway.
Yeah.
Let alone having to, watch it at 7 p.m. like we have before. I'm going to sneeze. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I wasn't going to sneeze. I just had a real tickle.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to really push a bunch of people away from it now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, this is really putting in jeopardy our likelihood of live reacting. We'll just watch the trailers in the morning. This it's just not worth our time to stay up and watch it. I wish it was at a slightly different time of the day. But as Ashton said, please let us know what you think of the winners and the announcements and the tone of the show. And if you could change something, what would you change? We'd love to hear it. There's a few places on the internet you can find us. Isn't that right, Ashton?
Yeah, there is. YouTube.com, twitch.tv/Team TripleJump for all of our video and live stream content.
You're so close to the end, Ashton.
I need to blow my nose so bad.
I tell you what,
it's going to sound so bad.
I'll just sort this out.
Thank you.
Twitch.tv/Team TripleJump. If you're subscribed to Amazon Prime, you get a free Amazon Prime sub. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it gives us a little bit of money, and that would be really helpful if you consider using that with us.
You could buy me more tissues. It would be great.
Yes. Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all /Team TripleJump. You can find us there. Patreon.com/Team TripleJump. Go support us there if you want access to some amazing content. TripleJump is our website where you can find links to everything that we do. Why not leave a 5-star review on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms, and we would really appreciate it. Do you remember what the sponsor of this show is, Ashton?
Yeah, vaguely. Cat treats, lollipops, everything. It's GTA Licks.
Of course, GTA Licks. How could I forget? Well, you look after yourselves, everybody. You get some sleep, okay?
Yeah.
We hope you get some sleep, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.